It takes about an hour to fly back to Lingxing from the barracks. When Yunwu returned to the inner college, it was already evening. Because the location of the inner college is too high, it is estimated that the Imperial Air Flight will not be able to go up. Fortunately, Cloud Dance has been prepared for a long time. At the beginning, when Wu Xingyu sent her to the inner college and caused confusion, she secretly touched a whistle and kept it ready. It's just in use now. When the sound of the whistle blows, in a short time, a carved beast flies down from the air. It seems that this whistle can not only open the defense and isolation of the outer college, but also summon the flying vulture of the inner college. After the eagle landed, Yunwu jumped up. The beast soon flew up into the sky and flew straight into the dark sky. The night did not seem to affect the sight of the beast at all. After half a pillar of incense, the carving beast finally stopped at the periphery of the flower garden. Because in the evening, the pharmacist elder must have come back. I don't know if Bai Shuer, who pretended to be her, has been exposed. Just as Yunwu thought about it and was ready to enter the flower garden quietly, she saw Bai Shuer flash from the flower garden and seemed to be worried. Master, you are back at last. What's the matter? Cloud Dance looks at anxious white snow sun to ask away. Something happened to the old man. Shirley murmured. What happened to the elder pharmacist? The cloud dances to smell speech, not from the brow a see-you rise, but the foot but at the moment toward the direction of the small wooden house in the flower garden. Cabin. In the dark, there is only a small light in the cabin. In the dim light, in the humble room, there was an old man with white hair and blood stains lying on the bed. The pharmacist elder used to be a middle-aged man with black hair and white beard. However, since she woke up last time, he spent too much money to protect the Dharma for her for a month, and his middle-aged face turned back to the old man with white hair. Yunwu has always been kind to her. To tell you the truth, the elder pharmacist is really good to her. When he saw the blood-stained pharmacist elder on the bed with many wounds on his body, Yunwu's eyebrows tightened a little. How did he do that? Yunwu looks at Bai Shuer, who has recovered the shape of a rabbit. Bai Shuer shook her head. I don't know. When he comes back, it's like this. Bai Shuer has been staying here in the shape of Cloud Dance, originally to cover for Cloud Dance, but when the old man came back, let alone recognize it, he fell directly into the flower garden. It took a lot of effort to get him back to the cabin. Cloud Dance also didn't ask Bai Shuer, but bent over and stretched out her hand, intending to see how the elder pharmacist was hurt. But as soon as she reached out, she was suddenly caught by a hand. Girl, is that you? The voice sounded weak. Cloud Dance looked at the pharmacist elder that raised to grasp her hand, and looked at his eyes that were tightly closed and bleeding. It's me, elder. How can you do this? After confirming that it was Yunwu, the pharmacist released his hand and grasped her. Maybe because of the injury, his breath was weak. I was careless when I went to get the medicine. I was hurt by the guardian poison. This time, my eyes are useless. You don't have to worry about lifting the curse, girl. When the pharmacist elder said with some dismay, he brushed his hand and a ray of light passed by. Several kinds of herbs appeared on the small table not far from the bed. And one of them, stained with blood, is an emerald rattan. You want those herbs because they are useful, right? You've got it back, so take it. Cloud Dance smell speech is a lang. He knew that the herbs she wanted were not used to lift the ban on him. However, Yunwu was surprised soon. Looking at the pharmacist's closed eyes stained with blood, and the faint tone of his voice, I couldn't help but feel some pain in my heart. Although at the beginning they had a deal in advance, but now to see him in order to help her get the emerald vine, and get covered with injuries, but also blind eyes, some feel sorry. Don't worry, I won't do what I promised. Your eyes are for my blindness, and I will cure you naturally. The elder pharmacist seemed shocked when he heard this. He knew she knew medicine, but it was poison, not poison. What's more, his eyes are not only poisoned, but directly injured. The wounds on his eyes are different from those on his body, which can be healed after opening. What's more, He knows the extent to which his eyes are injured. The poison is so poisonous that if it touches the skin, it will fester. What's more, it has hurt his eyes for a long time. You don't have to think too much, just believe me. Seems to see the reaction of the pharmacist elder, Cloud Dance did not forget to add a sentence. The pharmacist elder heard Cloud Dance's words and kept silent for a long time. There was still a trace of expectation in his heart. Can you really cure my eyes? Although he couldn't see it, Yunwoo nodded, don't worry, I'll do what I say. At the end of the speech, Yunwoo didn't say anything more, but his mind moved, and his consciousness suddenly entered the bracelet space to search. The poison on the elder pharmacist's body is a strange and strong poison. It can't be solved by ordinary methods, so we can only attack it with poison. But ordinary poison can't compete with that strange poison, and the poison of phoenix saliva is certainly okay. The last time Little Stink broke the egg, she got the phoenix saliva, although the phoenix saliva is not 1,000 years old. But it should be just right. Girl, you. Take a good rest first. I'll take care of your eyes and the forbidden curse. Cloud Dance interrupts his words, eyes slightly low, she does not want to listen to what kind of words. To be honest, it's her who should be grateful. The elder pharmacist doesn't say anything anymore. He knows her ability. Although, he also can't know his eyes can see the light again, but, give her eyes, he seems to be very relieved from the bottom of his heart. Yunwoo didn't rush to start, but walked out of the cabin. Lift eyes to look at a month's sparse silver sky, the moon's sky is bright and clear, also like her. Master, can the old man really be saved if his eyes are hurt like that? Think of pharmacist elder that bloodstain of eyes, white snow sun not from tiny cu eyebrow of inquired, Cloud Dance nodded, it should be okay, but there are risks. Risk? For the words of Yunwoo, after Bai Shuer was silent for a while, she didn't ask any more. What its owner knew surprised him every time. But since she nodded, there must be her own way. In fact, with such a master, it or other warcraft, do not feel humiliated. After taking Bai Shuer back into the space, she takes back her contemplative eyes, recovers her usual look, and gets up to leave. When she came back again, it was 3 hours later. The pharmacist elder took a rest and fell asleep. He suddenly heard the sound and asked, Girl, is that you? It's me. Yunwoo came to him and looked at his more serious eyes in a low voice. The elder pharmacist was relieved when he heard her voice. It's okay. Relax first. I'll help you clear out the toxin in your eyes now. The elder pharmacist was stunned again. This wench just walked a few hours, really found a way to get rid of such strong poison. The pharmacist elder's eyes with blood stains closed tried to open them, but the blood stains adhered to his eyes, and when he wanted to open them, he pulled out severe pain. The pain made his brow wrinkle. You don't have to force it open. Cloud Dance looked at his action, immediately said. At the same time, Yunwoo takes out phoenix saliva from the space. This fashion is in a bright red jade bottle, and the bottle body is covered with dense fog of red and black, which is caused by phoenix saliva. It took her several hours to dilute it according to Hyo's method, so as not to cause the strong toxicity of Feng saliva to corrode his eyes. Girl, what did you take? The elder pharmacist sniffed the burning smell in the air and asked strangely. But soon, he could not help but raise a doubt of surprise. He was known as a pharmacist, who was naturally familiar with pharmacology. That shouldn't be. Cloud Dance glanced at his eyebrows, raised doubts and surprise, calm way, phoenix saliva liquid. Hearing the 3 words of Feng saliva liquid, the elder pharmacist's body was shocked, and he couldn't speak. He had heard of the existence and effect of Feng saliva, but he also knew how hard it was to find. It's not something that money can buy. How could she have? Does she want to use it for him? Why? Why is she willing to take out such a precious thing? At this time, the elder pharmacist lost his voice for a moment. Cloud Dance looked at him like that, but shook his head. In fact, this phoenix saliva, she only used a little, or after dilution. It seems that the elder pharmacist is shocked. Even he is shocked. If he knows that there are many rare good things in her space, will he be shocked by her? The bottom of my heart thought like this, but Yunwoo didn't hesitate. When she opened the jade bottle, the red mist rose slowly, and the strong burning sensation in the air increased. Cloud Dance looked at the mist, eyes asquint. Almost at that moment, a blue light water elements across, such as blade water elements across his eyes. The eyes glued together by blood were cut open and forced to open. At the moment when his eyes opened, Yunwoo immediately dropped 2 drops of foam saliva on the 2 eyes of the pharmacist elder, and foam saliva began to melt. The elder pharmacist's thick eyebrows coagulated, and his eyes were pounded with a strong burning feeling. He almost subconsciously wants to close, but the blue light strongly supports his eyes, so he can't close them. He can only open his eyes like that, allowing the melting and invasion of Fang's saliva. Pain. The pain is almost more unbearable than tearing the heart and splitting the lung. The whole face of the pharmacist elder began to twist. With the stroke of Yunwoo's hand, the water element immediately wrapped his whole body. When the water element treated his trauma, it also fixed his body to prevent him from moving and twisting because of pain. Looking at the painful expression of the pharmacist elder, Cloud Dance said in a low voice, "Bear it, just get through this pass." The elder pharmacist was in pain. He was covered with cold sweat. He could not move. He could only bite his teeth. His eyes were full of blue tendons and blood. He couldn't see his eyes, but the elder pharmacist could feel the sharp pain of his eyes, which seemed to be corroded by sulfuric acid. Clearly felt that the wound inside the eye came tearing pain. He knew it was foam saliva. It's just, when is the end of this pain? Half an hour until, just when the pharmacist elder thought that he could not endure and almost wanted to die of pain, the endless pain seemed to gradually begin to subside. During this period, it was a full hour. At this time, the old pharmacist's eye pupil with wound was gradually faded by a mass of red, emitting the light of fire phoenix. Cloud Dance gazes at the change of the elder pharmacist, and finally breathes a sigh of relief. After half a sound, the pharmacist elder's calm eyes finally had a change. The phoenix saliva liquid is sliding down the corner of the pharmacist's eye. The original red light of phoenix saliva liquid has now turned into a turbid dark black, with a very pungent taste. Smelling the smell, Yunwoo frowned slightly. It was like the disgusting smell on her body came back when she broke through the martial saint. Now every time I think about it, she feels creepy. But Yunwoo still took the handkerchief and wiped it for him. "How do you feel?" Cloud Dance asks the pharmacist elder while calling out Bai Shuer. "What's the matter, master?" Bai Shuer's dream in the morning is broken by the Cloud Dance, and she is sleepless immediately. At this early morning call, she thought that something urgent had happened, and she felt highly valued. However, the next Cloud Dance left her completely confused. "Go outside and get some medicine, go to the kitchen and cook some rice porridge." Cloud Dance glanced at a white snow sun to say. Bai Shuer glances at the dark object coming out of the corner of the pharmacist's eye and frowns slightly. But there is no hesitation, rabbit figure into human shape, turned out. The elder pharmacist recovered from the pain. He clearly felt that the pain of bloated poisoning in his eyes was gone. Except that he could not see, he had a clear and comfortable feeling. "Is the toxin clean?" "Girl, how did you get foam saliva?" The pharmacist elder was shocked and surprised. But still can't help but joyfully ask away, he is very curious, this wench exactly how to do. "I got it by accident. Now that the toxin has been cleared, I'll help you recover your eyes first." The pharmacist elder nodded and did not speak any more. With his understanding of her, she would not answer the questions she did not want to answer. Remove water elements. Cloud Dance measured to see the eye of next pharmacist elder, foam saliva liquid cleared toxin. However, if the damaged eye tissue wants to be repaired, it still needs the life power of the first layer of the Hall of Chaos. And they also take advantage of the heat. Yunwoo returns to the first-floor door of Chaos Hall with the fastest speed, absorbs the power of life in Chaos Hall, and then returns to the wooden house. Without knowing it, Yunwoo quietly infuses the power of life into the eyes of the elder pharmacist, and the power of life shines brightly. Soon disappeared in the eyes of the pharmacist elder. The elder pharmacist didn't know what happened, but he could feel the itching and the breath of vitality in his eyes, and the darkness in his eyes was gradually replaced by the dazzling light. The bottom of my heart was surprised, but I didn't say anything. The light was full of great spiritual power, which was not common. Although he was curious about where the girl came from, he knew that she didn't want to tell him, so he didn't ask. After half a ring, the pharmacist elder felt that his eyes could move. He could see a little light outside, but he couldn't see clearly. Girl, I feel my eyes are better. Why can't I see them? I can't see it now, but there are still some white eyes in my eyes. Cloud Dance glanced at him and narrowed his eyes, repaired his eyes and helped him remove the white eye barrier by the way. Is it a 1-for-1? There's some eye droppings in your eyes. I'll clean them for you. Cloud Dance eyes indifferent, from the space to take out a scalpel. Eye dropsy. The pharmacist elder was stunned, and then his eyes narrowed, showing a smile of shame. Maybe it's because he didn't wash his face this morning. Cloud Dance. She sealed the pain nerves in the corners of his eyes, removed his white eye barrier with modern surgery, coated it with disinfectant powder, and finally found a piece of gauze to wrap it up for him. Well, tomorrow you can take off the gauze and see again. Cloud Dance slightly pick eyebrow, speak between a pair of deep indifferent eyes hidden a trace of drift. Upon hearing this, the elder pharmacist looked happy and said, my life will be yours in the future. If you have any orders, just say it. Cloud Dance eyes alow, thinking for a moment, there is really something I want you to help. You said, when your eyes are ready, you can have a good rest. I have something else to do. Yunwoo glanced at him and turned to leave the cabin. Originally, she wanted him to help train the elite troops together. Later, she thought, I'd better wait until the ban on him was lifted. After all, the greater the favor, the stronger the heart of gratitude and loyalty. Early in the morning, inside the college, Yunwoo walked slowly along the road around the east and west. When she passed the training tower, she stopped. Looking at the closed door inside the training tower, she raised her mouth slightly and pulled out a cold smile. It's only 2 months from the promotion contest of inner college. I don't know. What's the matter with the man? He said he was waiting for an opportunity. Did he? However, she has just heard that the foreign college has added another chance to be reselected into the inner college. With what she knows about the man, he will definitely try to get into the inner college. However, with his current status as a Waste Dragon 3, if you go to fight for it, you will surely expose your strength. I don't know how he will deal with this situation. Think of Dragon Poor Evil, that originally in different eyes appear a trace of soft and smile. The night is soft and beautiful, but it is still like a dead pool. You are Cloud Dance. When she looks at the training tower and thinks about the dragon, the sound of footsteps behind her makes her squint slightly. The softness and warmth gradually fade away, and the cold and indifferent look appears again. She did not turn around, just looked back at each other indifferently. Then, in the moonlight, she saw each other clearly. It was a man in his early 30s. The man had a sword pinned to his waist, and his hand had been holding the hilt of the sword. His eyes were as white as frost. Looking at her, he looked at her and peeped. Yes, can I help you? Yunwoo glared at him, his eyes full of desire, the desire to conquer. She snorted, looks like a challenge to her book. Shuangzi, remember the name. Frostzay has been looking at the clouds, a pair of pale white eyes full of lion's general aggression. Cloud Dance mouth a yawn, show a touch of meaningless smile, then withdraw eyes, get up to leave. The person who can make me remember my name is in a foreign college. Frostzay looked at her figure disappeared in front of her, holding the sword handle hands slightly tight, ice eyes like a flame. The person who can remember my name is in the foreign college. The person who can remember my name is in the foreign college. In foreign college her words hovered in his ears like a magic barrier. He has been practicing in Toulon for 3 years. As soon as he came out, he heard about her. A woman with 0 index, who was named as the daughter of the general, came in, but all the way into the inner college. This is not only so, not only in the primary gambling area to make the show, but also to seize the middle challenge area of the main power, completely covered up his name. He will never allow her to cover up his reputation. You want to pass the promotion contest, unless you win me. Yunwoo, who is far away from the training tower, can hear his words clearly. His voice is like a dragon in the night, so one can't ignore its strength. She stopped, her eyes deep in thought. A man with ice eyes? How come she never heard of this person? No matter the outside college or the inside college, there seems to be no information about this person. Frost, what is the identity of this man? But soon, Yunwoo was back to its usual coolness. He left the inner college and walked all the way to the border. He took out his whistle and blew it. After a while, the carving beast appeared in front of her. The carving beast seemed to have taken over her once, but this time it was not so professional. It just turned twice in mid-air, and when it fell down, it deliberately stayed above the Cloud Dance for a while, which made her alert for a while. Cloud Dance stares at the carving beast. This guy's skill is not small. She jumped on the back of the carving beast. Before she could hold it, the carving beast suddenly flew out several feet. Yunwoo's eyes narrowed, and the moonlight was shining. He reached out and touched its back, which was soft and comfortable. Then he said, "The skin is a little thick, and the meat should be delicious." The carving beast was flying. When she heard her words, her front paws were straight. She didn't dare to play any more, and soon she was sent to the foreign college. When she arrived at the foreign college, she went directly to Long Qingxia's residence. "Well, who are you looking for?" A man in school uniform just came back and asked after her. Dragon 3. Cloud Dance lifted Mao to see him one eye way. "Oh, he hasn't come back, or you come in and wait," the man said again. "Thank you." Yunwoo nodded. The man thought that she was going to wait, just to invite her in. In the blink of an eye, Yunwoo had already left him 10 steps away. The man looked at the figure of Yunwoo leaving, and shook his head in surprise. Under the moonlight, her figure was pulled long, gradually silent. Outside the college can only hear her footsteps, and a long sigh. She should have expected how he would live with these students, but also a hot head into the student dormitory. She attributed this muddle-headed behavior to so not rest. "I'm glad I'm wearing a mask, otherwise it may cause some waves." In the dead of night, at the end of spring night, "Girl, alone?" Suddenly, a voice sounded behind her. The voice was low, evil spirit with a smile. Cloud Dance stopped, drooping eyes a smile, a pair of cold eyes suddenly increased a bit mischievous. This talk with the smell of evil and ruffian, in addition to this think very crazy man, who else? She turned and walked towards him, her eyes rolling, learning his way. In the dead of night, lonely men and few women, but a young man? When Long Qingxia heard her words, he lowered his head and made a deep laugh. He pulled her into his arms and touched her forehead. "Do you want to be husband?" Yunwoo nodded, nestled in his arms, put the whole strength on him, and snorted lazily, "I think so." "Then punish it." Dragon Qingxia let her go, a pair of evil eyes full of temptation. Cloud Dance whitey one eye, "This guy is sick," thought to still punish. "If you miss me, of course I'll punish you." Long Qingxia dotes on her and kisses her lips. Cloud Dance glared at him, "What if you miss me? Then you punish me." Then he tooted his mouth and sent it to her. Yunwoo's eyes flashed a trace of frustration. She hit her feet with a stone, and then slapped him back. By the way, the college decided to hold a selection meeting in half a month. Dragon Qing evil mouth with smile, seems to think of something, unfathomable eyes hidden a trace of indifference. "How did you persuade the 5 elders?" Yunwoo glances at him and looks at him with distrust. She doesn't think his method will cast a shadow on the 5 elders in the future. I didn't do anything at all. Long Qingxie looked at her with an aggrieved face and a pair of pure eyes. Then he said, I still think those old men are a little crazy. Once a year is once a year. How can they change their mind? They don't believe me. After that, he shook his head helplessly. The cloud dances speechless to see one eye bright night sky. This guy pretends garlic, even she is inferior. She looks at the dragon to pour evil, the eyes are a little thoughtful, don't know whether should tell him black proud words. Although he is powerful, he still can't compete with him. Black proud words have been hovering in her mind, which is why she is so eager to train elite troops. What Hyo said should not be wrong. The power of Long Qingxie is so big that people can't reach him, so his power is unimaginable. When it comes to Long Qingxie, she seems to be less calm. What's the matter? Dragon Qing evil gold Mao sink, looking at the tangle in her eyes to know that she has something on her mind. Cloud Dance shakes his head, a face of warm smile and fell in his arms, and then lift the eyes of the beautiful look to him, child, borrow 50 cents of the embrace. Dragon Qing evil enchantment smile, touch his hair, put her in his arms, make end to return, but also have interest. But she didn't see a trace of ice cold in his golden eyes. She wanted to talk but stopped. It was obvious that there was something related to him, but it was hard for her to open her mouth and let him worry, so she chose to take it on her own. She didn't want to say it, and he wouldn't ask. He looked at the distance, his eyes were as dark as a golden blade. If anything about him hurt her, no matter who it was, it would be unforgivable. It's nice to be here. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth a yang, the cheek peeps out the agreeable smile. Then she sighed softly, as if she thought the idea was too extravagant. Long Qingxie looked at her in his arms with a smile of evil spirit in his mouth. His lips kissed her hair and said, no sigh. His woman belongs to this world. He allows her to be sad and sad when flying in this natural enemy, but he never allows his woman to be sad in his arms. He will make her happy as long as she is by his side. She closed her eyes and didn't speak. This time, she wanted to discuss with him about the problem of national teacher Long Shugua, but when she saw him, she found that she didn't want to tell him at all. Maybe she just wanted to use this as an excuse to see him. Silent night, quiet, only the sound of their breathing. Suddenly, from their side slightly distant came a voice of sarcasm, what a pair of dog men and women. Then the voice from far to near, she is just one of your many women. Yunwu and Longqingxi did not turn back immediately when they heard the sarcasm. Instead, they looked at each other and sneered. Yunwu stands up in the arms of Dragon Qingxie and looks back at the man not far away. It's Zhou Feiyu. At the moment, he was looking at her, a pair of deep eyes exuding the cold cannot be ignored. It looks like she did something disgusting. It seems that he didn't recognize her. Cloud Dance looked at him one eye, looked back to the dragon to incline evil to pick eyebrow, made a wink, indicated that she wanted to leave. Long Qingxie nodded. But Cloud Dance just turned around, Dragon Qingxie suddenly pulled her back, a kiss fell on her cheek, eyes bottom enchantment smile, low voice way, count as interest. Cloud Dance not good spirit glanced at him, not light not heavy toward his chest to give a punch, get up to leave. Zhou Feiyu looked at their intimate behavior, clenched their fists, and made a faint expression on their forehead, are you worthy of her? At this time, the dragon was not dressed up as Dragon 3, but as handsome and evil as Zhou Feiyu saw that day. Long Qingxie glanced at him and looked back at the Cloud Dance that was gradually leaving. He dropped his eyes and laughed, but the corner of his mouth was cold, which could not be ignored. She likes me like this, do you care? Zhou Feiyu closed his eyes slightly and forced himself to put down his anger. But the nameless flame in my heart could not be extinguished, and the clasped hands trembled slightly. You will pay for it. The corner of the dragon's mouth is full of the cold of the clear moon, and the deep eyes are covered with a layer of frost. What is hidden under the frost is the intention of killing. The corner of his mouth started to smile like Satan. For him, Killing Zhou Feiyu this week is as easy as a palm. But at this moment. When she heard Zhou Feiyu's last words, Yunwu had stopped to leave. She knew that Zhou Feiyu's words would touch the dragon's evil. Otherwise, she saw the killing intention in the dragon's evil golden eyes. Long Qingxie seems to feel Yunwu's turning back and looking at him all the time. When his killing heart rises, only she can make him watch. He concealed the evil intention in the golden eyes, looked back at her, and said with a smile, "What's the matter? Isn't it going to leave? Or are you worried about someone?" Someone, 2 words, Dragon Qing evil specially bite heavy a few minutes. This vinegar jar. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth. A yang, seem to have a specious cast Zhou Feiyu one eye, and Zhou Feiyu also similarly Pan is angry to kill the idea of looking at her. Even if I have to worry about it, I will only worry about some vinegar jar. However, before the time comes, if I have a hand in the internal organs of the college, I'm afraid it will lead to unnecessary trouble. She looks at the dragon and picks her eyebrows. There is an inexplicable meaning in her words. She knew that if she didn't stop Long Qingxie, Zhou Feiyu was so provocative, the man didn't mind dirty hands at all. However, Yunwu doesn't want to let him take the risk to expose his identity at this time. The words of Hayo make her understand that there are still many things to prepare. It's too early to expose his identity now. Long Qingxie stared at Cloud Dance for a while, then grinned and nodded, "Okay." However, when he turned around and left, he threw a boo at the Cloud Dance like evil spirit, and looked like a ruffian. "What Madam says is what?" Hearing that, Yunwu had no choice but to glance at him, but he didn't say anything more. After Long Qingxie left, Yunwu also turned away. "Madam?" This man, a few days ago to Wufeng, no, it should be said that Yunwu, the 9th lady of the Cloud family. What's more, you and I are so close to this woman who comes out of nowhere, and even call her Madame Zhou Feiyu. Just heard the dragon pour evil that talk, Junmua and Lo, like the Abyss General Hassan. However, when he saw Yunwu's back, which also left in a twinkling of an eye, a back suddenly overlapped in his mind, and his body was shocked. How so familiar? In an instant, his face changed. It's her. She's Cloud Dancing. She's a different face. Wasn't she brought into inner college? How difficult is it to get in and out of the inner college? He has heard about it for a long time. How can she appear in the outer college this evening? Did she come out to have a private meeting with that man? Thinking of this, Zhou Feiyu's eyes narrowed and his fists clenched. Just now that evil ruffian-like man identity, he let people to check, but how also can't find out, who is that man in the end? Zhou Feiyu watched the Cloud Dance leave, and a trace of scarlet appeared in his eyes. Why can she smile so pure and warm to that man? Why can she cling to him so freely? He swore that one day, this woman would come to him willingly. After leaving the outer college, Yunwu went back to the inner college directly. She watched the morning sun rise in the sky, her eyes flashed a smile, her mouth turned, and she walked towards the wooden house. Yunwu walks into the wooden house and looks at the pharmacist elder lying on the bed. It seems that the pharmacist elder has also woken up. The wound on his body has healed under the water element of Yunwu last night. After hearing her footsteps twice, the pharmacist elder knew that she was coming without asking. What's more, there is no one else except this girl who can go in and out of inner college and here. Girl, didn't you sleep all night? Although the elder pharmacist's eyes were covered with gauze, he could feel a transient sense of fatigue on Yunwu's body. Yunwu came to him and helped him remove the gauze from his head. Looking at the healing degree of his eyes, he said, "Take advantage of this time, I'll help you get rid of the forbidden curse." Forbidden curse? The elder pharmacist was stunned. Originally thought, the eyes are blind, the forbidden spell solution does not matter. However, she not only healed him, but also solved the curse for him at the same time. The pharmacist elder couldn't help feeling excited. He sat up from the board bed and seemed to want to open his eyes and look at Yunwu. Girl, are you serious? The forbidden incantation of the Ouyang family for hundreds of years is really where everyone in the Ouyang family is worried. Looking at his excitement, Yunwu cheered helplessly. Lie down. The pharmacist elder quickly put away his excitement and lay down on the bed. Although the cloud danced and cheered down, the pharmacist elder felt warm in his heart. Ouyang family's mind control skill mainly focuses on eyes. Before, when Yunwu looked at the elder pharmacist, she found that the pharmacist's eyes were covered with a layer of transparent diaphragm. At that time, Yunwu guessed that maybe that was the reason for Ouyang's forbidden curse. So, last night when he was treating the eyes for the elder pharmacist, Yunwu used the first layer of life force to reshape the eye wound, and the diaphragm was covered again. The reason why the diaphragm was not removed at one time was that the diaphragm covered the whole eyeball. If it was removed too hastily, it would hurt his cornea. Therefore, Yunwu specially waited for half an hour. When the effect of life power completely disappears, it can remove the diaphragm. Although it has some pain, it can be clean and reduce the risk. When I lift the curse for you, my eyes will hurt a little. Bear it. Cloud Dance whispered. As soon as her words fell, the water element had been released and covered around the elder pharmacist, and the small blade had quickly cut his eyes. There is no healing power of water element, but directly separate the mouth to remove. But the cloud dance is so fast that the period is very short. Pain, just a moment. After taking out the diaphragm, Yunwu uses the healing power of water element to directly heal the upper passage of his eye, including the cataract cut last night. When it was finished, the sky was bright and the candle light in the cabin was dim. The elder pharmacist kept his eyes closed and felt the numbness of his eyes, as if he could see the healing of his eyes. I couldn't help feeling a little excited. After half a ring. It should be okay. Try to open your eyes. Yunwu takes back the water element and looks at the pharmacist elder with his intact face. Is that okay? After hearing this, the elder pharmacist took a deep breath, and then he tried to open his eyes. When the first gray light came into his eyes, it was like a piece of light in his heart. As the brightness gradually expanded, he finally opened his eyes completely. At the first glance, he saw the still shining candle not far away. Then he tried to lift his eyes and saw the cloud dance standing by the bed with a cool face and a slight mouth. He really saw it. Girl, come on. The elder pharmacist looked at the cloud dance, his voice was trembling, and there was a trace of tears in his eyes. For the first time, he felt the clarity of his eyes, as if he could feel it. His eyes seemed to have no special confinement. Is the ban really lifted? Girl, I really don't know how to appreciate you. Cloud Dance looked at the pharmacist elder moved excited appearance, some helpless micro frown. Don't thank me for anything. It's a deal between us. But if you think you've taken advantage of me, there's something else I want to ask you for help, even if you exchange my kindness. In fact, Yunwu can't stand the gratitude of others. It seems that she is a savior. Anyway, she is not used to it and doesn't like it very much. She knew that she was not a good person and would not be a savior. You said the elder pharmacist regained his usual look and gazed at her. In his heart, Yunwu is not only a student, but also a girl worthy of his admiration, not only her medical skills in the military camp and her identity as a summoner. Even now, she is willing to use phoenix saliva to expel poison for him, and also use so rare spirit to help him treat his eyes. But the last 2 points are enough for him to be honest with her. Or sincere gratitude. I went to the barracks yesterday and looked at the situation of the army. I want to build an elite army. I need your help. Yunwu looks at the elder pharmacist, his eyes are dim. The formation of elite troops is a matter of great importance, but for her, it is absolutely a matter that cannot be easily known to others. She slightly narrowed her eyes and stared at the pharmacist. The elder's eyes were deep. She was waiting for his answer. Hearing her words, the elder pharmacist frowned and looked at Yunwu in surprise. You. Last time you asked me to go out with you, actually you wanted to steal my footwork? Cloud Dance is also straightforward, nodding, yes. do you know that the college's rule is that students in the inner college can never leave the inner college without any tutors? You said it once. And you still sneak out? Cloud Dance's eyes alow, showing helpless. She thought he was so surprised because she wanted to build elite troops. It was because she escaped from the college. I have something to do. Even if I didn't learn how to go out from you, I would have a way to go out. Cloud Dance's eyes a lift, some indifference of take back stay in pharmacist elder body of vision. The elder pharmacist sighed a little. Obviously, he couldn't refute her words. With her strength, the college might not be able to hold her. Girl, what are you doing to build an elite army? The pharmacist elder looked at her suspiciously. She is the daughter of a great general. She is armed with military talisman, has extraordinary talent, and has reached the peak strength of Wusheng. What else do you need an elite army to do? Yunwu frowned slightly and glanced at the pharmacist elder calmly. She didn't like people who asked too many questions, especially those she didn't want to answer. If the elder pharmacist is in a dilemma, I will not force him. She glared at the pharmacist elder, her eyes were indifferent, but the corners of her mouth raised slightly. The pharmacist elder was shocked by the seemingly casual but strange indifference in her eyes. She is a teenage girl. She hasn't found out before. When her eyes are clear, she can feel it. She seems to have an innate sense of indifference. It's hard to get close to her heart and understand her. As if, it is beyond her age mentality. I said that this life will be yours after that. Why don't I help you? The elder pharmacist stood up and said, when will you go? It is forbidden to enter and leave the inner college without permission. As a pharmacist elder of the college, he should set an example. However, for the sake of Yunwu, he is also free. Cloud Dance can't know, so can't help but smile. Yunwu went to the window of the wooden house and looked at the bright sky. He said, don't worry. I'll call you when I go. The breeze blows in and moves her clothes and hair like ink. It looks like a beautiful painting of immortals. It also shows that she has a cool and colorless posture. It's daylight now. Although she is sure she can go out quietly, she has class in the morning. What's more, she still has a lot of things she doesn't know about the inner college. She hasn't contacted the powerful experts of the inner college. I don't know how many of them are staring at her secretly. She can't take the risk with the elder pharmacist. With this idea, she had no choice but to smile and found that when did she become a good man? She is a ruthless cold-blooded killer, actually began to think more about the people around her. A new day has begun, and the people in the inner college have begun a new day of cultivation. After Yunwu's array class, he arrived at the training tower. According to the conditions she agreed to, she didn't go in to practice the pagoda. Instead, she went to the pagoda and asked if there were any array books. Tower Old let Cloud Dance to the top floor of the Educational Administration Building, Wanshuga. Cloud Dance turned to the basic books about marching and array. However, Yunwu found that she was a killer, and she was used to fighting alone to assassinate from the bottom of her heart. This march was a military battle, and she was really a layman. This temporary cramming, on the contrary, seems unfamiliar. It seems that she still needs to find another person who is familiar with the marching array. As night falls, there are only a few stars in the ink-like silver sky. The whole inner college is like a black curtain. 5 meters away, there is no human shadow. It's another black and windy night. When the gate of inner college was closed, Yunwu left quietly and came to the herb garden outside the forest. Meet with the elder pharmacist and come to the border. Yunwu takes out his whistle from his arms and blows, calling the carving beast. After a while, the carving beast in the night came down from the sky again. This time, it is extremely gentle and comes with a trace of fear. When it comes to Yunwu, it doesn't look at her directly, but it always looks at her secretly. Maybe it was the thought of Yunwu who wanted to eat it that caused the sequelae. The pharmacist elder and Yunwu sat on his back and flew out of the inner college. Girl, how does this carving beast feel afraid of you? The pharmacist elder looked at the carving beast and looked back at the cloud dance. He felt strange. Although the carving beast was tamed by the academy, it was still a little dignified because it belonged to a slightly higher level of warcraft. What's the matter today? He was not surprised that she could have a whistle to summon the carving beast, because this girl probably had some ways to get it. It's just that the response to the carving beast is strange. Cloud Dance glanced at the carving beast, the corner of his mouth was strange, his eyes were indifferent and said, "I'm probably hungry." As soon as the beast was hungry, his eyes glared and his whole body trembled. He hastened to send her to her destination and leave her. The pharmacist elder looked at the strange smell between the man and the beast, and clearly laughed. He could not help but sweat for the carving beast. This girl, but the summoner, the breath on her body is enough to make Warcraft afraid. How could the elder pharmacist not know what she meant? This time, in less than a moment, the carving beast sent her to her destination, and then all the way away like a meteor. Out of the array range. 1 hour after flying in the imperial air, Yunwu and the elder pharmacist came to the military camp in the valley of the border city. A soldier went to inform Gao Yu, and soon Gao Yu came wearing armor. Miss 9. Gao Yu and Li Feng behind him bowed their heads together. Cloud Dance nods and puts Mao Guang on Gao Yu. Have you chosen? The 100 best, all picked. Gao Yu pointed to several rows of soldiers in a corner of the square not far away, as if they were on standby at any time. Yunwu looked at the 100 soldiers and nodded. Then he looked back and pointed to Mr. Yao. He said, "Elder pharmacist, you should also know each other. In the future, he will help me train these 100 soldiers. In the future, he will teach me about array and pharmacology." After hearing this, Gao Yu was stunned. Then he looked and nodded to the pharmacist elder. She didn't know whether it was unintentional or a pun. She only taught array and pharmacology. Is it none of the pharmacist's business? Gao Yu frowned. He didn't know whether he was thinking too much or that's what he meant. The rest of the Yunjiajin will ask the general to pay more attention. My father gave the Yunjiajin to me. I will let the Yunjiajin be the strongest Yunjiajin all the time. On the contrary, I don't want the Yunjiajin to have any doubts. If there are doubts, the Yunjiajin will still be the strongest rope. Cloud Dance looks at Gao Yu and Li Feng, the meaning is self-evident. Since Yunlingyi has handed over the army to her, it shows that she has the ability to let him trust and hand over power. If anyone doubts her ability, you are welcome to challenge her. If no one doubts, be loyal to the master as before. Gao Yu and Li Feng looked at each other and said nothing. I know that you listen to me verbally, but in my heart, I only believe that Yunlingyi is a general, but he handed you over to me. Do you trust him, and should you also trust me whom he trusts? Cloud Dance glances at them, one pair of eyes in the dark moonlight with ice cold on, people can't look directly but can't ignore. Gao Yu touched her cold eyes, slightly stunned. He didn't know why he felt an inexplicable depression. Yes, Miss 9, everything is under the command of Miss 9. Suddenly, he suddenly bowed his head, her words played a certain role, trust the general should trust the general to trust her. All under the command of Miss 9. Li Feng also lowered his head and said. Yunwu's mouth is slightly outlined, showing a radian. It's a protracted battle to buy people's hearts. Although they will not refute and question her now, it still takes time for them to trust her with their lives. The pharmacist elder has been standing on one side, nodding with praise, and the smile between his eyes has not disappeared. This girl is really born to be the material of Phoenix Head. She won the hearts of the people without showing her edge. When she shows her edge, it's another scenery. Day after day. 100 soldiers go through special training every day and night. Yunwu uses all the modern training methods, plus the array taught by pharmacists and some special pharmacological studies. In particular, Yunwu gave the small jade pendant that Lan Yu had made to these 100 soldiers. With the help of the jade pendant, the elite troops made unprecedented progress in their cultivation. Cloud Dance looks at the 100 people who are still training under the scorching sun, their eyes light up. After training for such a long time, I don't know what the effect is. The pharmacist elder who stayed beside her seemed to see through her mind, looked at her and said, "It's a mule or a horse, or you have to pull out to practice." Cloud Dance glanced at the pharmacist elder. Under the hot sun also can't hide her eyes in the clear. If it's still a mule, I should smash the sign, and then smash your pharmacist's sign. The pharmacist elder looked at the isolated figure in the sun, and a helpless smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. These days, the more he knows about this girl, the more surprised and admired she is. At a young age, I really don't know where she learned these strange special training methods. What's in her head? Yunwoo looks at the steep and secluded forest on the east side of the canyon. After meditation, he finally decides. Assemble at her command, 100 elite soldiers drew close in an instant, faster than modern special forces. Northwest of the target forest. Half an hour. Objective to capture the elder pharmacist alive. Cloud Dance said and glanced at the stupefied pharmacist elder, with a strange smile on the corner of his mouth, a trace of fox cunning. Yes, 100 iron soldiers, scattered and separated, arranged their troops in an orderly way and headed for the forest. Girl, my old bone. Without waiting for the pharmacist elder to retort, Yunwoo came to him in an instant, pulled his arm and flew in the air. There is a rustling wind in my ear. The wind in the forest is mixed with the taste of sea salt. Closing my eyes is like galloping on the sea. Clouds from the sky overlooking the forest, eyes a coagulation. Although the soldiers in the barracks often enter the forest, they are only shallow and have never really gone deep. Looking from the air, you can see that the forest is so big that the terrain is almost crisscross, which is a dangerous form of hard attack and easy defense. So that's why Yunlungi built his barracks here. Girl, where are you taking me? All the way, the elder pharmacist was led to the forest by Yunwoo, and his heart was always seized. The girl actually took him as the target, thinking of her strange smile when she looked at him. He could imagine how evil the girl was in her bones, or some cold and heartless. Those soldiers are also trained with your credit. As a coach, you naturally have to set an example for a walk. Cloud Dance glances at him, the corner of the mouth outlines to say. Can be static if the eyes of stagnant water, but there is no way of joking. The pharmacist elder looked at it and closed his eyes helplessly and depressingly. This black-hearted girl. Anyway, he is doomed to be this girl pit. It seems to see only recognize planting share. Forget it, just take it as a play. Yunwoo looked down at the forest and didn't find any big beasts, but in the northwest of the forest, there are many trees and vines, and only a few paths are relatively flat. Suddenly, she found that 5 elements and 8 trigrams were hidden in the path these days. It was like a maze, either trapped or easy. It seems that this place should have been set up by Lingshuanshan in the forest. This is just right. You can have a try. The pharmacist elder has the best of both the training and breaking effects these days. Looking at the elite soldiers who have just entered the forest, the corners of Cloud Dance's mouth outline a smile of abdominal blackness. Put the pharmacist elder at the end of the path. However, in addition to the maze of the 5 elements and 8 trigrams, it seems that there are still some obstacles, otherwise, the difficulty is too simple. Cloud Dance think, finally, to Hung Ling and Stink. The two of them, together, will make a world shaking. Yunwoo can't help but raise her mouth. A smile and a little worry flashed in her eyes. She seems to be able to imagine the scene. Of course, with the strength of the pharmacist elder, if you just let him down, let alone let those soldiers catch him, even Yunwoo will not be able to catch him. How to say, the strength of the elder pharmacist is in the stage of Wuzuan. Therefore, Yunwoo suddenly grinned and said to the elder pharmacist, "Elder, I'll hurt you first." What? The elder pharmacist hasn't responded yet. A silver needle has sealed the elder's acupoints. Can't move. The pharmacist elder looked at Yunwoo with wide eyes. You black-hearted little girl, you make me unable to move. Do you want me to be eaten by Warcraft? As a matter of fact, for the elder pharmacist, if he wants to break through, it's not a big deal. He didn't rush. Naturally, he wanted to play with those people. Listening to the pitiful words of the pharmacist elder, she is still kind-hearted and exerts the force of elements around him to avoid hurting him in case of any warcraft. Of course, the latter hand is left. She's secretly sent by Schwer to protect her, which is a kind of surveillance, because she really wants to know the interesting situation. Yunwoo settled the elder pharmacist and returned to the square of the barracks. Sitting on the small stool in the square, sipping a few sips of tea, thinking that there is still half an hour left, I look up at the sun, which has no burning feeling, close my eyes and have a rest. Gao Yu, who was not far away, was worried. He knew it was like a maze in the northwest of the forest, and it was extremely difficult to walk. He just didn't know that the forest was fatal to ordinary people, and only a volley was needed for her talent. The 100 soldiers were also ordinary people, but after her hand, they were not ordinary people. Half an hour later, Yunwoo opens his eyes and sees the bound pharmacist elder. At this time, he is looking at her with a sad face. The clothes are wrinkled, the white hair is disorderly, the straw is flying away, and the black substance is smeared on the cheek, so the whole image is like being trampled. Cloud dance eyes am I, some doubts like micro frown way, elder, forest stroke is very big. How did you get blown up like this? After hearing her words, the elder pharmacist seemed to be shocked, and his face changed red and green. After a long time, he sighed helplessly. Just think of it as a big style. Cloud Dance stares at the disorderly appearance of the pharmacist elder, and his changing face, with a flash of mind, seems to understand something. A smile flashed through my eyes. But it is very clever, immediately covered up. At this time, you can't laugh, otherwise, it will really damage the face of the pharmacist elder. So Cloud Dance turned to the 100 soldiers and said in a deep voice. Today's task has been completed very well, disband. Yunwoo stood up, the breeze blowing, her hair fluttering in the wind, a white skirt like ripples, like misty swaying, so that 100 soldiers were shocked. Yes, the elite troops quickly withdraw their eyes and disperse. I don't know why, when I looked at the 9 young ladies, I felt a touch of blasphemy in my mind. Yunwoo untied the elder pharmacist, and then exchanged greetings. Finally, the face of the elder pharmacist, who was full of complaints, came back, and then he let the elder pharmacist camp to have a rest. It's important for people to handle affairs. Naturally, they need to be soft-spoken. However, Cloud Dance looks at the messy appearance of the pharmacist elder's face, and it seems that we can imagine how fierce the 2 guys were fighting at that time. The Cloud dances at the foot of a move, in a moment to the edge of the forest. Hongling, Xiaolukaku and Bai Shuer all returned from the forest. Mama, Mama. As soon as Xiao Chou saw the Cloud dance, he was excited and kept shouting. But as soon as Hongling came back, she seemed to feel Yunwoo's dignified eyes, so she was quiet a lot. Smelly excited eyes in the face of Cloud dancing dignified eyes. Dim in the dim, Mama, have we made a mistake again? Little Stinky looks cute and looks pitifully at Yunwoo. This makes Yunwoo feel soft. However, considering the appearance of the pharmacist elder, I think it's necessary to teach these 2 little guys a lesson. Otherwise, I'm afraid it will become more lawless in the future. Not to make you less mischievous. The Cloud dances in a deep voice. Mama, it's not me, it's it. I'm angry because it hit me. If I don't control my temper, I will change in the future. Stinky face wronged pointed to Hongling, the fault to Hongling. That big cute eye looks pathetic, but it's actually a thief. If you didn't destroy my food, how could I beat you? Master, he ruined my food, and I taught it. Hongling also looks at Yunwoo and accuses the stinky crime. But it hasn't eaten anything new for many days. It's not easy to meet a leopard who is not bad, but it's burned to coke by this guy. What's more, it's delicious when it's cooked. It's fresh, it's delicious. Cloud Dance heard, not from the forehead black line. It seems that she shouldn't ask so many questions. She knows both of them, alas. I caught that first. I killed that. Cloud Dance looked at the two little guys who were making noise again, and suddenly felt that their heads were a little big. These two guys, one to eat cannot die, one to play not to die, a pinch up, all around suffer, this is the master and part-time do nanny, very helpless, well, if anyone quarrels again, I'll throw it into the Pacific. Go back to sleep. Cloud Dance low a roar, frightened two little guys a shiver, pretended to be pitiful to sob then the Ash Lulu back to the contract space. Cloud Dance looks at them as mutual 1 foot, just returned to space, the facial expression brush of black line brushed down. She should solve the problem directly by force and try to educate them with normal thinking, but are these two little guys normal? Thinking of a dark flash in the deep of his eyes, the black line on his forehead showed again. Fortunately, Bai Shuer let her feel at ease. Let it return to the space to rest, Cloud Dance will fold back to the barracks. Entering the pharmacist elder's barracks, I look at the elder's white hair and ragged clothes. Then I think I was dressed in white when I came out with her. Although my hair was white, it was extremely soft. And now I really can't bear to, but what should be done still needs to be done. Although she thought that she couldn't bear it, her face didn't show a little bit of it. Elder, I'll go back to the college tomorrow. I'll leave it to you for the time being. Her clear voice is not big or small, just into the ear of the pharmacist elder. After hearing this, the elder pharmacist's spine became stiff and his face became very ugly. Give it to him. He's been left with the drudgery again. After she left, the pharmacist elder's eyes fell on her back, resentful, helpless, and some dark and desolate. Yunwoo naturally found his expression, but didn't see it. Because, into her pit, then endure it. Whether she is a black heart or a bad person, the pharmacist elder is really capable, and the elite troops need such talents. Of course, Cloud Dance will not let him suffer losses in the future. Back at the barracks, Yunwoo continued to train elite troops. Gao Yu always saw the effect of her training. In less than half an hour after learning that the elite troops had brought back the people who did not know where they were in the forest, the look of surprise on their faces remained for a long time. He was very clear about the danger in the northwest forest. Now he remembered that his sharp eyes were still full of vigilance. The surprise in his eyes was deeper when the 100 soldiers could come back unscathed. He began to re-accept and re-understand this 9 young lady from the bottom of his heart. Yunwoo has collected all the emerald vines, Zhilan grass and 7-level magic cores, but it has been very busy before. Now that you are free, you will naturally take advantage of your free time to enter the Hall of Chaos and go directly to the 2nd floor of the Dead Gate to find Hyo. Black Ao smell a familiar smell, see not far away Cloud Dance is smiling at him, that smile some inexplicable strange smile, this smile is quite puzzled him. What are you laughing at? What do you mean by that? The black mist in the corner is suffocating, and a little red dot appears in the black fog, which is fleeting. Yunwoo put away her smile, maybe she had another thought in her heart, but she didn't say it. I've found all the herbs you mentioned last time, such as Cymbidium, Emerald Vine and 7th level magic core. When Yunwoo said that, he took out the Emerald Vine, Zhilan grass and the 7th level magic core from the space and held them in the palm of his hand. Did you really get it? Black Pride seems slightly surprised, but the mood soon converges. Of course, do you think it's fake? When Yunwoo said this, he waved his things forward. Ying is confused and surrounded by layers. The 3 kinds of medicinal materials emit their own light, but they are connected and fused together. Yunwoo clearly felt the induction of the isolation hood to the 3 herbs. It should be said that Hyo's response to them brought them in. Although Hyo tried his best to hide the impatience in his voice, Yunwoo still recognized his more urgent thoughts than usual. Yunwoo spread out her palm, which sent out dense mist. 3 kinds of medicinal materials floated in the air, and her palm was filled with air. Cloud Dance fretting mind, 3 kinds of herbs have broken through the isolation hood into the dark fog, floating in the sky, emitting aura. Haha, with this medicine, I can finally get out of trouble earlier, so I don't have to suffer from this prison. Black proud laughter, let Cloud dance dark a sigh of relief, promise his thing also calculate completed. You can absorb it yourself. There's plenty of time anyway. When I say you, I don't like what I say. Cloud dance helplessly glanced at the mist, did not pay attention to him, mind a turn and left the chaos hall. Although the elder pharmacist is not a pharmacist, he is also a pharmacist. He naturally knows how to make some useful pills. These days, although the pharmacist elder has trained soldiers to break the array, he is still developing a pill that can improve his ability. Although the effect is not as obvious as the pill, it is definitely good for these soldiers. The next day, Yunwoo modulates the pharmacist elder and gives Gao Yu some pills that can improve the ability of the elite troops. He asks Gao Yu to give them to the 100 elite troops every day. Then he goes back to the inner college. It's time for her to go to the inner college. It's time for her to do her own business. All the students in NEI College are practicing in the training tower. Although she is forbidden to practice in the training tower, she has been learning the array. These arrays are unpredictable, which is totally different from the real battle in the Warring States period. There are not only 5 elements and 8 trigrams, but also incantations that gather the power of heaven and earth and mental arts that control aura for their own use. If they can be used in combination with modern art of war, the results will be shocking. Just looking at her, she feels that she is unpredictable and unable to understand, let alone study. Now she is just a beginner. She has only learned a little, but she has already abandoned the pure modern art of war for more than 10 blocks. In a few days. In the middle of the night, the figure of Cloud Dance appeared in the open and reflected inner college square. It was only recently that Yunwoo discovered that there were many places in the inner college that she had never been to. For example, the Dragon Slaughtering Pavilion. I don't know if the map of the Calling Temple is in it. Cloud Dance a pair of indifferent cunning eyes, looking at the door of Tulong Pavilion, mind flow. Looking back, I inspected the left and right, and raised my mouth. In the dead of night, it's good for stealing. When she decided to go to have a look, she suddenly felt a touch of cold air behind her, and her feet immediately came back. She clearly felt that some familiar icy eyes. Cloud Dance straight up bent body, eyes flashed a variety of meditation, turned to look behind. Is that him? The man who calls himself Shuangzi. His eyes of ice color are hard for her to think about. Cloud Dance's tiny low mouth is glaring at him, both hands ring chest, pretend a pair of casual appearance. What on earth does this man do? Why does he show up every time she does something that needs to be hidden? And it's behind her every time. This feeling is the worst. There's a sense of being followed and peeping. Although she knew very well that he didn't peep at her, Yunwoo glanced at him for half a moment, and found that he was staring at her all the time. He didn't speak or move, just like a statue, but the frost eyes revealed the breath of ice cold. I don't know whether it was the cold he sent out or he couldn't control it. Yunwoo put down her arm, took back her eyes and turned to leave. She doesn't have a taste for distance viewing, especially on comfortable nights. You can't get in there if you want to. Suddenly, when her figure was about to disappear in his sight, he spoke coldly. Cloud Dance stops to step, eyes slightly squint. But also slightly turned around, a face of doubt indifferent glanced at the man, said, I said I want to go there. Frost's drooping mouth slightly pulled, a pair of ice-bright eyes appeared, a trace of disdain, can enter there only I, if you want to enter only defeat me. Cloud Dance looked at him, eyebrows suddenly slightly pick. Purple level talent, has reached the middle of the 9th level, his age and strength, really good. It's estimated that the college is already one of the best experts here, but I don't understand why he mentioned defeating her twice. Is she that famous? Yunwoo didn't feel it at all, because she showed her hand twice, and it was only among the middle and low-level students. He was a senior student, so he should be dismissive. Moreover, even if he is for the promotion contest, it's not too late to wait until the day of the promotion contest. But CG Tulong Pavilion is a place she has been paying attention to these days. Every time she passes by it, she can always feel a strong pure spiritual power in her body. So she had to go in and have a look. Maybe it's just your own wishful thinking. Cloud Dance cold hum, with her clear breath, turned and disappeared in the night. Frostzay looking at her leaving back, the sword in his hand faintly suffused with suffocating black on. Mr. Bai, can you feel anything unusual about Tulong Pavilion? As soon as Yunwoo came back to the room, he always felt that Tulong Pavilion was not so simple. After thinking about it, he decided to ask Almighty Bai Lao. Girl, I advise you not to touch those superfluous things. At least I'm sure the map of the temple is not there. White old hoarse voice, with a hint of warning said. Cloud Dance nods, since the temple map is not there, I will not be full to provoke some useless. Bai Lao was relieved when he heard what she said. Just he didn't see Cloud Dance that sincerity won't eat full under the eyes, quietly pan over a trace of light. What even Bai Lao didn't let her touch must be the best, right? The sun is hazy, and the inner college in isolation is more mysterious. Ah, I heard that Ming Tian is coming back. Is he coming back to participate in the promotion contest? I've also heard that Ming Tian is one of the best experts in our college. When he comes back, our chances of promotion are slim. Yes, I heard that he entered the internal college with domineering and super powerful force, and he was directly on the list. Yunwoo has a class at noon today. On the way back to class 1 of 3 years, she heard the students who went to the training tower saying that he was divine. Cloud Dance listening to the crowd, mouth slightly yawn. I've heard that the students in and out of the college will come back to participate in the promotion contest, but she didn't think too much about it. Now it seems that they are still an opponent who must pay attention to when they come back. By coincidence, are you going to class? Not far away, Ling Feng saw her in purple. She thought she was wrong. It was her when she came closer. Cloud Dance takes back the vision that leaves God, looking back to see to Ling Feng, the corner of the mouth holds to smile away, yes. The one who followed him looked at Ling Feng with no intention and suspicion, and said with a lazy tone, Monitor, your eyes are good enough. We didn't find her here with 4 eyes. Xiaozhu nodded in agreement with him and looked at him with the same clear eyes. This changed Ling Feng, embarrassed, a handsome face instantly red, Can you stop laughing at me? Yunwoo's eyes flashed a smile, and then returned to the usual cold, did not speak again, turned and walked towards the class of 3 years. Ling Feng watched her leave, her clothes were floating, her long hair was flying, and an imperceptible smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. But then, he looked back at the culprit behind him. Unintentionally, Xiaozhu shrugged and looked innocent. The promotion contest is just around the corner. I hope your martial arts skills are as sharp as your lips. The Cloud Dance disappeared in the public sight, her clear voice floated by the wind, and suddenly came into the ears of the 3 people. After hearing this, the 3 of them looked at each other and looked forward to the promotion competition. After training in the training tower, plus the constant combat and Cloud Dance skills, their achievements are not small. In the promotion contest, they expect to fight her. Even if you know the result is failure. Yunwoo is walking on the way to class 3, but suddenly she stops and turns around. Now almost all the people in the college have gone to the training tower. Yunwoo usually sneaks into the Kangwu Pavilion in the dead of night, but today she goes in the daytime. Not surprisingly, the door of Zhongwu Pavilion is open during the day. However, the door is guarded. She looked at the guard in front of the gate of Zhongwu Pavilion, just like a statue, but Yunwoo knew that his perception had been paying attention to everything around him. Her eyes passed a trace of dark, a pair of eyes are thinking about how to mix in. Suddenly, the corner of her mouth raised, and an evil smile rose. She went to a hidden place to call out Bai Shuer, let Bai Shuer pretend to be her, just give her a blink of an eye, it will not be a problem to enter. Walk 10 meters away and watch him turn around and run out. When Bai Shuer heard the words, she immediately understood. With a green light passing by, the white rabbit turned into a cloud in a moment, and then ran out in the blink of an eye. The guard saw the figure not far away, a pair of sharp eyes vigilantly followed Bai Shuer, and Bai Shuer ran out. When the guard looks back at Bai Shuer, Yunwu uses the element of wind to hide his breath and shake his feet. I saw a green shadow floating by, and disappeared in the Kangwu pavilion in the blink of an eye. The guard felt a slight change in the air flow, suddenly turned back and looked deep into the Kangwu pavilion. He probably didn't find anything moving, so he made the statue again. Although I went in during the day, my behavior was still a little furtive, but Yunwu doesn't care at all. These are just the process, what she wants is the result. Although it's daytime, the quiet Kangwu pavilion is still dark. After the cloud dance enters, it directly enters. Subconsciously swept a corner, did not see that familiar figure. Suddenly, she picked her eyebrows slightly, and then remembered that the day was the rest time for Lian Ah Huan. The corners of her mouth outline. Since he's not here, she can take away any martial arts without telling a story. Although she can watch these martial arts all this time, she can't take them away. If she gets some advanced martial arts books to take out, it will be of great use to the elite troops, won't it? Think of here, cloud dance. I ground smile deepened a few minutes. However, when she was about to start, the voice behind her completely pulled her back to the original way. How did you get in during the day? Isn't your token for the night? Pity Ah Huan. That way some sleepy idea sound, suddenly spreads from some corner. Cloud dance hears the sound to sweep away, when see that Pity Ah Huan stretch waist to get up from that corner, can't help eyebrow a see you. He sleeps here. However, Yunwu didn't ask him, but grinned and said, come in, come in. What's the difficulty? Or do you think that old man outside the pavilion can defend me? Pity Ah Huan smell speech, tiny frown of stare at her to see for a long time, just curl a mouth way, forget it, anyway guard also don't close my business. It's just that his words just dropped. Pity Ah Huan but suddenly changed into a smile, body shape adrift to her in front, smile, however, you come in to tell me a story? When did this guy change his face so fast? Cloud dance eyes flash a touch of depression, this guy will not really listen to addiction. She is talking about modern things. 4 people in this strange world, it is absolutely bizarre. However, if there are too many stories to tell, there will always be a day when they are finished. I said, is it still in accordance with the old rules? Cloud dance picks eyebrow of inquiry to ask away. Okay, you say it quickly, and I'll give you a more advanced martial arts book. Lian Ah Huan is so excited when he talks about the story. The outside world for him is longing for, beautiful, even if every day to listen to will not be tired of. What's more, the world she talked about is much more interesting than what Nada always said. Well, if I say something more interesting, would you lend me your martial arts skills and take them out for a few days? Is that all right? Cloud dance suddenly some thieves asked. Lian Ah Huan's excited mood seemed to calm down. He frowned and stared at Yunwu. According to the regulations of the college, you can't borrow martial arts. You took several books last time. If you let the elder know, you would be overwhelmed. Anyway, there has been one. It's not bad for this one. If you don't tell me, he certainly doesn't know. At most, I'll tell you more wonderful stories. In exchange, what? Yunwu is a little bit like a child. A wonderful story? Pity Ah Huan's eyes brightened, but he pretended to be hesitant and nodded with a grin. Then you first say that when I'm satisfied, I'll lend you a few days, but you want to return it. Yunwu smiles and nods. Then, he began to tell stories for advanced martial arts. She has already got a lot of advanced martial arts skills here. If she goes on like this, she should see the advanced martial arts skills here a few more times, right? But now she is suffering from sequelae. As soon as she mentions storytelling, she feels that something is wrong. It was already afternoon after she came out of Zhangwu Pavilion. She had no class this afternoon, so she went back to her residence directly. Yunwu looks out of the window, and her eyes pass by a trace of tenderness belonging to women. She thinks of Long Qingxie. The selection contest is close at hand. I don't know what he is busy with. She looked at half of the cloud, eyes slightly asquint. Temple base map has not yet whereabouts, selection competition is close at hand, promotion competition is imminent, things are approaching step by step. She always feel a sense of inexplicable worry and powerlessness. It seems that everything is very smooth towards her expected development, and seems to be a little too smooth. I hope she can consolidate her power when that worry arises. Her worry, in fact, comes from what Hayo reminded her before. What's the strength behind the national master of Longshu Kingdom, besides the Beast Gate? In fact, Cloud Dance has been thinking about this. But I just can't figure it out. Thank you for your medicine. Suddenly, the dark proud voice from Chaos Hall interrupted her thinking. Thank you for her medicine. Could it be that Yunwu's eyes were a little surprised? As soon as she turned her mind, she entered the second floor of Chaos Hall. As soon as I settled down, I felt that the Chaos shop was full of great pressure. The dead door of the Chaos Hall was just like a sea flood, making a roaring sound. The sound circled back and forth in the Chaos Hall space, and her ears could not hear anything. Cloud Dance slightly frowns, looking at the black pride in the corner not far away. He is suffused with 3 different kinds of light, like lightning, repeatedly cleaving to the black fog. With the light splitting away, the dull and booming sound in the Chaos shop became louder and louder, as if it was about to collapse. Cloud Dance looks at Black Proud, the eye bottom flashed a surprised color. What a strong breath. What kind of monster is he? Isn't he imprisoned in the Palace of Chaos? How can it feel like he's going to tear down the Chaos Palace? Ah! With a loud roar, the whole Chaos Hall, bang, fell into darkness. Cloud Dance squints his eyes. At the moment of falling into the darkness, he seems to see the black pride in the isolation hood darting out, and then he can't see anything clearly. There was a little surprise between her eyebrows, but she soon frowned slightly, turned her hand, and the wind element soared, using the wind element to fight towards the infinite darkness. Like a white dragon, the wind element penetrates into the endless mist, opening a vortex-size gap and gradually expanding. Suddenly, the black fog in the Chaos shop, as if absorbed by something, began to accumulate in a certain direction. Cloud Dance takes back wind elements, frowning straight at Black Pride. Do you want to tear down my Chaos Temple? It's best to be able to dismantle it. Unfortunately, I haven't fully recovered my ability. Make this move. Also can blame that isolation cover too hard to break a touch of horse, dull, with a helpless voice broke the silence of the death method of Chaos Hall. After a few days of absorption, he finally recovered a lot of strength, enough to escape from the prison nails and isolation cover. It's really nice to be free again. Cloud Dance looked at all the black fog gathered to the black proud body, deep in the dark. If she hadn't guessed that the black fog might be a part of his body, she really wanted to try the element of fire to see if she could burn it. Now that you are free, you should first have a good rest here and recover your vitality. Cloud Dance looks at Black AO, the meaning between words is very clear, how many can help her after recovering strength. In response to her, Hayo sighed solemnly, it's impossible to recover all the strength, but it's enough to keep you safe. It's just that it's more difficult to get out of the Chaos Hall. Cloud Dance hears his words, micro cu double eyebrows, double eyes emerge one silk don't understand, what meaning? More difficult. Didn't she let him out of chaos before? Although not often, but 1 or 2 should be okay. Black Proud looked at her one eye, he seemed to feel the dignified breath on her body. It explains one sentence. At that time, although my prisoner couldn't kill me, he weakened my strength. Even when I was imprisoned in this chaotic temple, he cursed me for never stepping out. Unless the curse is broken, even if you can let me go out several times, you will also suffer from imprisonment. His voice was hoarse, but with a chilling chill. Curse? Yunwu can't help frowning. Why hasn't she heard of him before? However, at this time, Yunwoo thought of the first time when he saw this black pride from the spiritual space. When he heard that she was a descendant of the witch family, he wanted to kill her. Is your curse related to the witch clan? Cloud Dance's eyes pass by a trace of surprise and doubt, looking at Hyo. Black Proud looked at her one eye, that pair of scarlet eyes flashed a undercurrent, then just nodded. But Yunwoo clearly felt that when he heard the word, witch clan, his breath suddenly changed, full of endless killing. Really? Cloud Dance can't help but heart dark stunned a turn, this how so coincidental ah. How to break the curse of the witch clan? Cloud Dance stares at him way. Black Ao sneer into the Cloud Dance ear, and then look at her way. Originally, at the beginning, you are not qualified to be a girl, but you wake up in such a short time for the fourth time the power of witchcraft, also don't know is predestined or evil, this curse only you can break. She was a witch, but he was imprisoned by the witch. At first he intended to kill her, but later he helped her because of the trade. I didn't expect that in the end, she would be needed to solve the curse. He really didn't know whether to sneer, get angry or be lucky. At least, this girl is included in his eyes. However, is this the intentional arrangement of fate? Just me. Cloud Dance slightly frowns, don't understand the meaning of his words, but also vaguely guess the method of solving the curse must have something to do with her being a witch. Now that I tell you it will only make you worry, it's better to let it go. When it's time, I'll speak naturally. I hope you don't make me wait too long. It seems that Hyo doesn't intend to say too much. If she says too much, she will have pressure, but it's useless. It's a matter that can't be rushed. It depends on her opportunity. Cloud Dance smell speech, also didn't ask much. Well, take a rest. I'm out. After that, Yunwoo left the chaos hall. Since he didn't say it, it means it's not time, and she didn't need to ask any more questions. After Yunwoo left, there was a hoarse laugh in the Hall of Chaos. You saved me, what should I do to repay you? Repay her? Does this sentence really come from that black proud mouth? Cloud Dance is not serious. When Yunwoo came out of Chaos Hall, she began to feel bored. It seemed that her leisurely life was not suitable for her. So she left the college and went to the back cliff of Yaohuiwen, intending to go back to the army to have a look. She used the element of wind to leave college and return to the army. In the barracks. At this time, Gao Yu didn't know what to do. He just came out of a barracks and ran into Yunwoo. Gao Yu saw Yunwoo and ran to her. Miss 9. There was a respectful cry. Cloud Dance tiny a nod, the vision falls on the 100 soldiers who are training in the square. Indifference way, pills are divided? It's divided. Well, you can do it. Cloud Dance looked back at him, turned and walked to the pharmacist elder's barracks. Gao Yu looked at her back, and there was a trace of admiration in her eyes. This period of time to understand down, he more or less also feel the temperament of this 9 young lady, with her special training methods and rules. This 9 miss is really not simple. At the beginning, they didn't promise to change the special training and military regulations of Miss 9. Was it really wrong? If their whole army can also get the training of Miss 9, is that also? Barracks. The pharmacist elder is developing a medicine for soldiers to replenish their energy. He knew that Yunwoo, the girl who asked him to help train these soldiers, would be of great use in the future. Now, some of the pharmacology, array, martial arts soldiers, now everyone can be on their own, only lack of durable physical strength. He had to develop a panacea that would replenish his strength and energy without harming his body. Cloud Dance steps into pharmacist elder barracks, long old man also didn't return of way, wench came back. Seeing that he didn't turn his head back, he knew that she had come back. Cloud Dancing raised his mouth. Now the old man is really a ghost. Cloud Dance walked to the pharmacist elder, saw that he was still developing pills, and said, "Do you still need to take it? This is to improve energy and physical strength. They are much better than the regular army now." They just need to train more frequently. The elder pharmacist was holding a green pill with a spirit in his hand and measuring its attribute. This pill is made of 100 herbs with spiritual power. It is full of dense fog. Yunwoo listened to the elder pharmacist's words and thought a little. If we test their talent, wouldn't it be better for them to learn martial arts? Anyway, there are also ready-made primary martial arts skills. You don't need them for nothing. Cloud Dance Moutha Yang praised a large sum for oneself this idea. When the pharmacist elder saw that she didn't speak, he glanced at her and saw her face with a strange smile of calculation. Her face suddenly became a little stiff. Girl, are you calculating me again? Cloud Dance wiped his one eye, put away the calculation and meditation of the fundus of the eye, light smile way, elder, you say in addition to let you develop medicine, what else can you calculate on your body? The elder pharmacist's face softened after hearing the words. What she said is not bad. Apart from developing medicine, he is not good at anything else. There is nothing worth calculating, it's just that he forgot that he's still a senior pharmacist at the college. In college, there must be time. Suddenly, Yunwoo looked up at the forest deep in the barracks. He thought of something. Looking back, he said to the pharmacist, you work slowly, I'll go out. When the pharmacist elder knew that she was not calculating herself, he was glad and worried about the person who had been calculated by her. When he heard that she was going to leave, he simply nodded. Yunwoo walks to the barracks and puts his eyes in the forest. Then, hand over, wind elements like Tornado General, revealing a touch of green light, instantly disappeared in the barracks square. The 100 soldiers naturally saw this scene. Heart surprised, more is deep admiration and firm. Yunwoo uses the wind element to wrap it up, and then comes to the stone formation in the deep forest. It's easy for her to break the stone formation this time. Although she knows that she has been here twice and won him every time. In order to win her once, he deliberately weakens the destructive power of the killing array every time she comes. Yunwoo walks into the cabin, just like twice. Make Xian Day still sit there to play chess, see she came also don't lift Mao, holding a chess piece in hand, meditating where to put. Cloud Dance after entering the door, very neat sit to make Xian Day opposite. After looking at the chessboard, he raised his mouth slightly and said with a smile, do you practice hard here every day? Don't know if you can beat me this time. Make Xian Day smell speech, double eyes flash a silk undercurrent, looking at Cloud Dance way, compare again. He likes playing chess quietly most. He thought his chess skill was beyond anyone's ability, but he didn't expect to be won by Yunwoo. At first, he had a sense of shame, but later, he had the idea and expectation to win her once. If you focus on a person, you will feel closer and closer. He is. Because she won him, so he had the heart to win, looking forward to her arrival, which also gave her a chance to get close to him. This is exactly what Yunwoo wants to see. Half an hour later. The white sun falls, is a dead chess then live chess, after passes kills the situation. Ling Xuanchen looked at the white chess piece that won by one move, and his body was shocked. He lost again. How is that possible? How on earth did she do it? Playing chess is one of my strengths. No one can win me. Cloud Dance looks at the facial expression that makes Xian Day Jingran, the corner of the mouth appears a smile. Although she didn't like playing chess, the effect of that month's training was extraordinary. For her purposes, she didn't mind telling a lie that she herself believed. How did you do that? Make Xian Day don't understand of looking at her. Cloud Dance's eyes flashed a smile, holding a chess piece and said, do you want to learn? I can teach you. Make Xian Day Fox suspicious of looking at her, afterward just open mouth, do you really want to teach me? Why not? Cloud Dance tiny a lift Mao, some funny raised corner of mouth. What is your purpose? Make Xian Day double eyes a cold, glance Cloud Dance to ask away. You have nothing to do. What can I do for you? That's a fake. Well, do you think I'll believe it? Make Xian Day after hearing speech, but his cold hum. Cloud Dance stood up and looked down at him. As long as you know I have no malice, next time we meet, I will teach you. After that, Cloud Dance didn't stop. As soon as I moved, my figure disappeared and left the cabin. The killing array outside has stopped, which should make Xiantian stop deliberately. Cloud Dance mouth a yang, a pair of good-looking eyes inside a glimmer of smile, want people's hearts. It is necessary to get rely on the time. She has a feeling that next time she comes here, Ling Xiantian will not let her down. Half a month, and soon passed like this. Cloud Dance looks at the floating clouds in the sky, and her eyes pass a trace of excitement. Although she has not found what she is looking for, her trip to college is not in vain. She has learned a lot of good things. However, what excites her is that the second broken competition of selecting students from internal colleges will begin the day after tomorrow. I don't know why, she felt a little excited at the thought. She attributed the excitement to boredom recently. Yunwoo had a class at noon today. Seeing that it was late, she got up and left the dormitory to study the array in the class. The dark woods are the places where the clouds dance to and from the dormitory. Today, as she passed the grove again, a touch of familiar breath made Cloud Dance slow down, but did not stop. Her mouth slightly a hook, showing a beautiful smile. He's back. Bai Qingshui is still dormant in the tree. With the last example, this time he deliberately hide his breath, looking at the back gradually away. A trace of excitement appears in the corner of his cold eyes. These days, he has been practicing, and he wants to hide in front of her once, even if it's just hiding. Just as a trace of satisfaction passed through the sharp eyes, a cold voice rang from behind him. Back? Bai Qingshui suddenly turned back and met Yunwoo's smiling face. He suddenly got up, sharp eyes looking at her a little surprised. Cold and hoarse voice said, "You are not already. If you can't find you, won't you be disappointed?" Cloud Dance mouth a pull, want to do his master, if can't find him, then also don't have that qualification. Bai Qingshui heard that she was shocked, and then she understood what she meant. I have brought back 10 assassins willing to give up their lives and be loyal to the Lord. Cloud Dance tiny a nod, she forbore excitement of hide over the ecstasy in the eyes, lift the eyes to stare at him one eye, you now should do something else. White clear water is a leng again, sharp double eyes I ground flits a silk surprised, then kneel down on one knee, resolute cry, Master. Cloud Dance looked at him with a serious face, a smile, hands around the chest, some lazy looking at the white water kneeling on one knee, worship me as a teacher, see how you have a sense of death. Is it that bad to be around her? No. White water's low voice sounded again. He is excited. Get up. Yunwoo looked at him and felt that he had made a good decision. He has no father, no mother, and no worries. He only lives for the skill of killer, and he is only a killer in order to make greater progress in the constant competition. Once such a person is identified, he will follow to the death. She was completely relieved of this, which was why she gave him a chance to be her apprentice. You take other people outside the college to find a place to live. I train them there. After that, you come to me. I teach you how to kill. Cloud Dance takes a look at him. After thinking, 10 assassins hide together in the inner college. It's really a bit risky. When she doesn't train them, it's better to do it outside the college. When they go to a higher level, she doesn't need to go again, just let them come to find herself. At that time, the 5 elders will have a headache, right? Think of this, Cloud Dance inexplicably some strange excitement. After hearing her words, Bai Qingshui's cold eyes were shaken, and then he replied, yes. As a shadow disappeared, the corner of Cloud Dance's mouth raised. His strength now is enough to be her apprentice. The selection contest is about to start. Yunwoo returns to the army again. She is sure that before the selection meeting, the 5 elders will consult with the elder pharmacist, so this time she is going to take the elder pharmacist back. Oh. I haven't realized how time flies yet. Inside the barracks came the voice of pharmacist Elder's vicissitudes without losing strength. Yunwoo told him that there were 2 days left for the selection meeting and asked him to go back first, but he was very surprised. He didn't expect that the time passed so quickly. Girl, this is my newly developed pill, which can enhance physical strength and energy. You give it to them, take one every day for 7 days, and let them take the rest by themselves for a rainy day. This pill is full of spiritual power. If you take it for 7 days, you can stimulate your unawakened mental power. The rest of the pills, in case this girl uses them one day, if she feels that her spirit and physical strength are a little weak, just take one, and the spirit power on the pill can quickly supplement her spirit and physical strength. Yunwoo took a black box of pills, drew a deep arc at the corner of his mouth, and nodded with satisfaction. The pills were shining with crystal green light, like pearls and eggs, just green. It's hard for you, Elder. Go back first, and I'll go after you after I've told you. Cloud Dance looked at the pharmacist Elder, grinning. The elder pharmacist nodded and turned to leave the barracks. Cloud Dance will focus on the pill again. The ability of the old man had to feel admiration. She thought that only the elixir could make such pills. Unexpectedly, as a pharmacist, he could make such pills. She is really worthy of being a pharmacist elder in inner college. After that, Yunwoo gives Gao Yu the pills and tells him how to distribute them. Regardless of the surprise of Gao Yu and others, the wind element is used to wrap the body. With the flow of air, the wind and shadow gather and flow in an instant, and the shadow disappears in an instant. Only left a face surprised Gao Yu, and was driven by the wind straight shaking movement sound barracks barrier. Is the night sky such as wash, bright moon thousands of miles. Yunwoo takes Bai Qingshui to the back cliff of the college, where the elements of the wind are rising. Under the guidance of Bai Qingshui, Yunwoo goes to the place where 10 assassins live. Before she got close to them, she felt a strong sense of killing and chill. It's a killer flavor. Baptized in killing and death. Cloud Dance frowns slightly. With such a strong intention of killing, if you see it in front of the master, you will know it's an assassin. It's like there's something special on you. You can't hibernate at all. It seems that she needs to kill them all. At the moment, more than a dozen of them were standing in 2 groups. Their expressions were the same, almost the same as Bai Qingshui's face. This is also the unique look of the moment. The Cloud dances a tiny pick eyebrow. When they saw Cloud dancing, their faces didn't change much. They seemed to have heard of her existence for a long time. And it's not hard to see that they have now obeyed Bai Qingshui's orders. As for what he used to make them willing to follow, she can know a little. In this world of respect for military, it is nothing but force. Force. Or force. Sometimes, it's really simple and effective to solve problems with force. Are you the one who can teach us how to kill? One of the assassins saw the Cloud dancing in and gave her a cold glance. However, when I saw the face of Cloud dancing, I was surprised and disappeared in the twinkling of an eye. This surprised nature did not escape the eyes of Cloud Dance. With a perfect curve in the corner of her mouth, she walked towards the assassin step by step, then looked directly at him and said, "It's me." This sentence is meant for him and for everyone. When everyone got the affirmative answer, they could not help glancing at her and frowning. At first, they didn't know that the master in baking shuiku was a woman, but when they learned that his master was powerful in baking shuiku, they wanted to see her. Today's will see her. They are also indifferent in the heart of a blood-boiling feeling, but did not expect his master is a woman. What? Let you down? She glanced at the crowd, looked at the surprise and doubt in their eyes, and quietly passed a smile on the corner of her mouth. A trace of bloodthirsty sneer, like the devil General's strange outline. When the assassins saw her smile, they were shocked. The smile was like poppy blooming in the night. It was deadly, but it was so hard to move. They can't believe that such a pair of clear and calm eyes have such evil, vicious, and indifferent eyes in the bottom of their eyes. The owner of these eyes is still a girl of 15 or 16 years old. Yunwoo looks at them and stares at her eyes in surprise. There is a trace of displeasure in her eyes. Obviously, she doesn't like the feeling of being looked at. Whether you are worthy of loyal flattery depends on time. Bai Qingshui saw the displeasure in Yunwoo's eyes, and immediately opened his mouth coldly, drawing everyone's eyes back to him. All of them took time to stop looking. They take white water because he is better than them. As for Yunwoo, a girl who has no assassin's murderous spirit, why should they obey? Therefore, the heart cannot help but doubt. If they know that one day after tonight, they will see such evil, determined and bloodthirsty Cloud dance, they will never have any doubt and negation now. But that's what happened later. Cloud dance didn't say much about their doubts. But watching them compare with Bai Qingshui one by one to test everyone's talent and understanding ability. Finally, Yunwoo found that each of them had a strong understanding ability. If even Cloud dance is good, it must be more qualified than ordinary people. It seems that Bai Qingshui is very careful in selecting these 10 assassins. So, I couldn't help but say it. The first thing a qualified killer should have is to be good at hiding himself. Being good at hiding is not that you will succeed if others can't find you, but that you will know how to hide all the imperceptible breath in yourself. Speaking of this, Yunwoo glanced back at Bai Qing waterway. White water think of 2 times have been found, can't help drooping eyes. It sounds easy to hide breath, but it's not easy to do it. The most basic thing I want you to understand is to hide breath. What is breath? Maybe you all know it, but what I mean by the hidden breath is not the breath you think you have, but the murderous breath on you all. Murderous? The assassins on the scene frowned at the words. When did they get murderous? They're assassins. They can't breathe. The murderous spirit is emanating from your bones. If you want to hide it, you don't need to change your uniform momentum. Cloud dance stares at more than a dozen assassins present, pick eyebrow to say. However, her words were obviously unacceptable to the assassins present. What does she mean? Cloud dance see their expression reaction, naturally also guess what they think in the heart, helpless shrug. It seems that we really have to start from the bottom. Do you know why people like to play the fool? First, you can confuse people. Second, you can hide your true breath and reduce the enemy's vigilance by distracting your attention. These are the most basic. A real strong master is not a black assassin, but an assassin. The real master is that no matter in any case, he can hide all his breath and become any role you can play. He seems to be able to enter the center of the enemy, carry out investigation and anti-reconnaissance, and attack the enemy by surprise. Speaking of this, she can't help but think of the pure and innocent eyes and the unbearable loneliness when Long Qingxie was the third dragon. All these have covered up his true side. Even if she had suspected that he was not simple, she was still confused by his pure side. At first, the assassins frowned as they listened to her. However, slowly, it seems that some serious up. What they have learned and known since they were chosen as assassins is that they are constantly killing, exploring and hiding in the dark from their bones. They have been reminding themselves that they are assassins. In order to become a real assassin, he even began to become cold-blooded and merciless, only knowing how to kill murderous. It seems to be the most basic symbol of becoming an assassin, cannot be hidden. But today, when she said this, it seemed that it was totally different from the assassin career they knew. The last and the next points are the most basic. The most basic skill an assassin can master is fast, accurate and ruthless. Cloud dance looks at 10 assassins and white water, with a trace of skill that she doesn't usually have in her eyes. What she said is really just the most basic skills a killer should have. A killer needs to have a cold and ruthless heart. Once the target is locked, he should move quickly. Aim at the opponent's lethal point and kill him accurately. Don't hesitate because of any external factors, and don't be conceited because of your own pride. Instead, show your unnecessary sympathy. Otherwise, you will be the one who drops your head at the moment you hesitate. Yunwoo is very relaxed, but her words are shocking. What is the origin of this girl? I don't want to say more. Remember that as a killer, if you don't do something, you have to die. This is the most basic principle of being a killer. She doesn't need a benevolent assassin group, she just needs a killer group that can shake the whole mainland of China. The 10 assassins looked at each other and saw that the inexplicable undercurrent flashed by. They do sometimes hesitate. However, hearing Yunwu's words, they suddenly felt strange that they were not really assassins at all. How could that be? Leaving behind your conceit, weakness and so-called arrogance, I don't need some emotional assassins here. If you want to stay, do what I said. I hope you will make me look up to you next time you come back. Otherwise, I don't mind seeing you off in person. Cloud Dance mouth a yang, under the cold moonlight, her figure is indifferent and resolute. You can speak so well, so you are a master. Then why don't you show us what you can do? Sha Qi, one of the assassins, asked. Cloud Dance slightly low mow, the corners of the mouth seem to have no smile, looking at Sha 7 Wei, you should be what I say proud conceit that kind of. Sha 7 hears her words, slightly oleng. She, a real assassin, when learning something useful to himself, will not question, but will learn with an open mind. But Cloud Dance's words did not finish, a touch of sudden attack from the intention to kill, suddenly hit the hearts of the people. And at that moment, a cold light just passed in front of people's eyes. Since you want to see it, I will not be stingy to show you what is a real assassin. Cold voice, very light in everyone's ears. But at this moment, I was shocked by the scene in front of me. The dark pour out the gas sound, silent draw up. I saw a cold light passing by, and a small dagger touched Shaki's neck. Tiny blood stains oozed from his white neck. Tingling feeling, let Sha 7 whole person all incomparably clear shock. There was no chance to react. No, he didn't even see her move. If she wants his life, she can definitely solve it in one breath. Is that her strength? A real assassin will never let you have a chance to speak, even when you face to face, it can also let you die quietly. So, learn slowly in the future. If you still want to see my skills, I'm afraid you will see blood. Cloud Dance strange evil cold hook lips, how? Do you want to see me? Sha 7 smell speech oleng, immediately, quickly shake head. The bottom of his eyes was proud, and suddenly disappeared. A touch of submission rose from the bottom of his eyes. Shaki is willing to submit. In the future, you will be Shaki's master. Please punish him if you have just offended him. As soon as the words fell, Shaki immediately knelt down on one knee and bowed his hands. When other assassins saw this, they all knelt down on one knee and called respectfully, Master. A master, on behalf of their willing surrender to her, completely willing. Cloud Dance line of sight on the white water body, see his fundus is that excited with the same pride, the corner of the mouth can't help slightly raised. After that, Yunwu assigned a task to them. It was in a small forest in the eastern suburb. There were many animals and birds in the forest. The most important thing was to help her explore secretly. These 10 assassins, she must use the fastest way to make them the best assassins. When I left the woods and returned to the inner college again, the sky was already slightly cool, and Yunwu felt a little tired. If you have some time, you can go here and there. The night is the time for normal people to rest, but the time for your activities. Bai Lao felt the lack of meaning from Cloud Dance, and said with helpless concern. Cloud Dance is lying on the bed. Hearing Bai Lao's words, she smiles a little. Recently, it seems that there are too many activities. But what wasn't forced out? She should try her best to recover her own strength and establish her own power in the college promotion competition. Everything is imperative and can't be delayed. Even if she is free sometimes, she can't let herself be free. She needs to race against the clock. She raised her eyes and looked at the roof of the dormitory. Her eyes swept by a touch of helplessness. How could she feel that she was born with a hard life? No, there is also the life of being a natural wet nurse. Think of the two little guys in the space, she is the first too big. Her eyes began to blur, and at last she fell asleep on the bed. It was afternoon when she opened her eyes again. Yunwoo looked out of the window, her eyes were dim, she missed another class. I can't help it. Anyway, I'm not going to do it again. She found a reason for herself, and soon forgave her dim eyes. Tomorrow is the selection contest. How can she not go to such a lively scene? But before that, she needs to go out to see Ling Xuanxian. Zhou Yu asked Zhuge Liang to come out only after she looked at the cottage. She didn't mind looking at Zhuge Liang more. She hoped that things could go smoothly this time. Bai Lao in the necklace listened to her busy voice, sighed helplessly, and then fell into a deep sleep. Army barracks, forest, Stonehenge. Yunwoo didn't stay in the army, but directly used wind elements to rush all the way to the forest. In the first 2 times, she was in and out of the Chaos Hall to enter the killing array. But she also found out the way not to use the Chaos Hall to enter the killing array. In addition, in the first 2 times, she made Xiantian deliberately shout about the destructive power of the killing array, so she found out the way to enter and leave the killing array. So this time, she has completely mastered the killing array. Although it can't be cracked, it can enter the cabin directly through the killing array. Cloud Dance looked at the restart of the kill array, a cold smile. For her, who has made a clear sense of the killing array, it seems that the killing array has less destructive power. No, she's familiar with it again. As soon as she landed outside the stone array, Ling Xiantian in the cabin felt her breath. Her cold eyes could not help glancing at the outside of the cabin, and then saw a purple figure slowly coming in. Yunwoo sat down in front of him and said with a smile, I'll play chess with you when I have time. You should know my purpose in your heart. What's the matter with you? This time, she did not hide the slightest, but directly stated her purpose. She felt that it was time for her to play chess with him all the time. We can't win with one move over and over again, and we can't do more. The reason is obvious. If she goes on like this, she will feel that she can't win. Make Xian Dai hear her words, the hand is playing a chess piece, he knows what she wants. After several times of contact, he also found that she has no hostility to him. To be exact, he knew her identity the first time he saw her. Although he refused to admit it all the time, the feeling of being involved in the same vein was so subtle that there seemed no reason to explain it. But just as he was about to speak, a dull roar came from the forest. Boom! What's going on? When they looked at each other, there was a chill in their eyes. Someone broke into the forest again. Make Xian Dai listen to the strange sound in the forest. The cold eye sun suddenly drops to the freezing point, holding the finger of chess piece slightly white. Cloud Dance looked at his slightly white fingers, eyes also slightly squint. Almost at the same time, the secret Cloud Dance, the spirit of the moment out. When you feel the familiar breath in the stone forest array and recover your mental strength, a very cold color suddenly rises in Yunwoo's eyes. Are they from the Beast Gate? She droops the MOU to meditate, the eye bottom flash a silk undercurrent. It seems that the person of 10,000 Beast Door already knew to make Xian's sky of location. I thought it would be smooth today. Unexpectedly, I happened to meet the attack from the Beast Gate. The cloud dances and frowns. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise outside the stone forest. I can see that the sky outside the stone forest is surrounded by a black mist. The whole sky is like a whirlpool, and the scope is getting larger and larger. The whole insect forest is like a black cloud. Cloud Dance out of the cabin, dark eyes look to the outside half of the sky. The darkness engulfs the forest, and the tearing sound of the black bug being destroyed resounds in the forest. Cloud Dance's eyes are unusually cold, and the evil bloodthirsty that hasn't appeared for a long time looms up. The smile that has been torn open at the corner of his mouth reveals the breath of death. Do they want to destroy the whole forest and make Xiantian appear? After a while, they seemed to hear the sound of the outside killing array being forcibly destroyed. The cloud dances the corner of the mouth to hold to smile of saw one eye, that facial expression is calm, the eyes but undercurrent, cold and secluded make Xian sky, a put on the danger once the eyes. Although it's a high-level killing array outside, listen to the movement and the turbulence in the air. She seems to feel that there is a strange power on the people who break into the array. With the continuous distribution of power, the resistance and destructive power of the killing array begins to decline. This kind of strange feeling, Cloud Dance is the first time to feel. But it also aroused the bloodthirsty killing intention in her heart. She wanted to see the people of the beast family kill each time. I feel that today is a day to kill people. As expected, some prey has come to my house. There was endless coldness in her words. But let follow out of make Xian day, listen to the body a shock. She said it was a killing day. What do you mean? Is she going to? He could feel that the people who came this time were more powerful than those who wanted to break in before. Moreover, it seems that they all have a strange force, which he does not know what it is, but he can feel a strong sense of oppression. You should feel it, too. Ling Xuanxian looks at Yunwu and asks. In fact, he seems to have restrained his anger. Language fall, make Xian Day return to the house, give two people to pour a cup of tea, picked up the cup light sip a mouthful. As a matter of fact, the moment he came back to the room and touched the table, he had already opened the next killing array, waiting for the people of the Beast Gate to break in. Cloud Dance did not return to the house, but at the door, cold bloodthirsty mouth, so what? I'm afraid I can't restrain myself if I don't see any blood. Oh, that's very loud. Make Xian Day cold hum. Although she entered his killing battle, she was not necessarily the opponent of the Beast Gate with those skills. I don't just talk big, I do what I say. Cloud Dance looked at him with a smile, turned his head and looked at him inexplicably, raised his hands and pulled up green silk. Immediately, his eyes were fixed on the direction outside the stone array, more and more deep and bloodthirsty. She uses the wind element to wrap her body. Just when Xiantian is surprised to see her purple figure turn into a hurricane, she can only get a remnant shadow in the blink of an eye. He looked at the clouds that disappeared outside the wooden house, and his eyes were surprised. Does she really have the strength to deal with the Beast Gate? Ling Xiantian looks at the black-robed man outside the killing array and thinks deeply. It's beginning to make sure she's not a member of the beast family. She is a witch, if not a betrayer of the witch, then she think of this, make Xian Day that pair of calm and cold eyes inside, quietly emerge a trace of excited color. Too long. He had forgotten how the same people who didn't betray existed. Originally thought that the witch people, except those who betrayed, almost all were destroyed. Unexpectedly, she however, her age is only about 15 or 16 years old. When the witch clan was destroyed, she should be just a baby. How could she escape the capture and killing of the Beast Gate and the traitors? While making Xiantian still in doubt, the Cloud Dance on the other side. Using the familiarity with the killing array and the speed of the wind elements, he lurks behind the black-robed people, and looks at them with his eyes passing dangerously. I'm going to see clearly what's going on between their purpose and that strange force. The 5 men in black were controlling the black atmosphere that enveloped the woods. Black gas is like a sharp blade, shuttling back and forth in the forest, where it is destroyed. The trees were scratched and covered with thick resin, the branches and willows were broken, and the corpses of black insects were everywhere. Cloud Dance looks at Black Goo's miserable appearance, most of them are still wriggling on the ground. The numbness makes her frown and feel disgusted at the bottom of her heart. At this time, she leans behind a tree, her hands around her chest, watching the black-robed people constantly destroy the killing array. Her eyes narrowed, and a touch of evil light of Satan appeared. The advanced killing array gradually weakened under the continuous destruction of the black cloud, and the black air in the forest gradually dispersed. What a 360-degree lethal power! Until, Cloud Dance glanced at his shoulder was black air cut clothes, just cold hum a smile, then languidly from behind the tree came out. Who? The man in black robe in front of him felt that there was a change behind him. His vigilance for killing suddenly increased. He put away his power to control black chi and turned his head. When they see the clouds behind them, their eyes are full of darkness and killing. If you don't want to die, get out of here. Cloud Dance glanced at the black-robed man, and the lazy corner of his mouth slightly raised. This sentence is exactly what I want to say. To die. The black-robed man's deep roar came out in bursts. As soon as his palm was unfolded, a mass of black air, like a boa constrictor from the dark abyss, came straight at her. The empty feeling of endless darkness suddenly approached. Cloud Dance's dangerous squint moment, hands a turn, wind element buckle, condensed into a green python, in a moment toward the black gas collision. One black and one white, they collide. All of a sudden, the forest was like an explosion. After the collision, the huge airflow attacked Yunwu and Hyperion. The man in black was shocked by the aftershocks and withdrew several steps in succession. And I don't know if it's too strong. Two of them seem to have been impacted, and their bodies shake, leaving a touch of blood on the corners of their mouths. Seeing this, Yunwu just raised her mouth slightly, stretched out her slender jade finger, brushed her hair slightly disordered, and then flicked the dust on the purple clothes, but it didn't move. It seems that the after effect just now has no effect on her at all. And at this time out of the wooden house of Ling Xuanxian, looking at the wind elements used by Yunwu, the surprise of the fundus can no longer be covered up. Does she use the power of wind element condensation? Or is he blinded? And the strength has been so strong. In the valley outside the Zazhai forest, the Yunjiajin heard a loud noise from the forest, looked like a black and white dense fog in the forest, and wondered what happened inside. The black-robed man was a little surprised when he looked at the strength of Yunwu, and his cold eyes were staring at her. Who the hell are you? Cloud Dance closed eyes, seems to be bored with this boring problem. The dead don't need to know the answer. Cloud Dance this words, make a few black-robed person's facial expression a heavy, I ground a me instantly. This seems to be a fight that needs to be solved by force. If you die or you die, why should we know who she is? Is there a difference between knowing and not knowing? Kill her first. The black-robed leader stares at Yunwu angrily. He knows that if he doesn't solve her first, they can't break the killing array and catch Ling Xiantian. The other four men in black nodded at the same time. Suddenly, the 5 people began to move to 5 directions. A black fire was burning in their hands. Suddenly, they threw their own black fire into the air, and the 5 black fires condensed instantly. Cloud Dance looked at the black fire, a trace of vigilance passed by the fundus of his eyes. The black fire is getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting bigger with a different green. Make Xian Dai see the black fire strange scene, the eyes reveal the incredible fear, an awe-inspiring face suddenly pale as a piece of white paper, that pair of bones clear hand don't know to feel tightly hold, seem to have a trace of trembling. Girl, be careful. This black fire belongs to the wood system and has strong cohesion. It can condense the aura of all plants with roots to the noumenon. Bai Lao, who was resting, was awakened by a strong sense of aura cohesion. So powerful. Cloud Dance frowns, looking at the growing black fire, eyes dark, white old, do you have any crack method? The black fire sucks the aura of the forest. The black has been covered up and completely turned into green. The trees of the whole forest begin to dry up. She seemed to be able to hear the voice of the forest life in the gradual depletion. Bai Lao looked at the black fire and shook his head helplessly. It is recorded that the mysterious man used the black fire thousands of years ago, which exhausted everything in the world. It was a saint who turned his body into a cage and imprisoned the black fire. He did not let the black fire flow out again. He nourished the earth with his blood. Only then did he regain his vitality. There was no mention of the solution in martial arts and spiritual power. Cloud Dance hears Bai Lao's words, the eye ground passes a cold dawn. The black fire disappeared for thousands of years, reappeared in the hands of the beast gate. Do you want to turn the life of the world into nothing? Suddenly, her eyes lifted, as if thinking of something in general. Is it strange that the beast gate used the irretrievable black fire so easily? Yunwoo looks at the black fire, and her eyes are shining. Yes, girl, try to stop it. There must be something wrong with the black fire. Bai Lao nodded and was also surprised at the problem. Cloud Dance's eyes narrowed, calling out Blue Yu, Red Ling and Little Stink from the contract space. Bai Shuer becomes her replacement in the college. Because of the legend of Black Fire, Ling Xiantian in the wooden house has a sense of powerlessness when he first sees the black fire and remembers the scene when everything is dry. It's just, when he looks at Yunwoo. When she found the contract beast beside her, her body suddenly shocked, and the daze in her eyes was definitely not for a while. Contract beast? She's a summoner. How is that possible? Haven't summoners disappeared for hundreds of years and almost become legendary? But now I'm standing in front of him besides, is she a witch? Make Xian Sky I Mao have to stay Leng, surprised, not believable, transform into now of joy. The wizard summoner. He looked at the cloud dance, a smile appeared on his always plain face, and a flash of flame flashed through his eyes. And the 5 black-robed people's eyes also shrank. Summoner. She should not, is the Lord looking for the purple pupil girl? But her eyes are not purple. What's the matter? Ma. As soon as Xiao Chou came out, he crawled to Yunwoo and rubbed her neck with her pink cheek. Yunwoo's face suddenly turned black, because she felt that the place where she rubbed her neck was a little hot and sticky, master. Hung Ling is also a face of love to No Wei, a small flower directly separated in her shoulder. These 2 little guys really don't know how to watch the scene. Cloud Dance mouth slightly smoked, but still strong significant smile, a very gentle hand, they pulled down in the hand. Little Stinky and Hung Ling are very happy to be carried. Looking at the extremely gentle Cloud Dance in front of them, they act as if they are the happiest baby in the world. Suddenly, Cloud Dance's face turned black and said, "Work." 2 guys fell from heaven into hell, stupefied did not react, was mercilessly thrown to the ground. One side of the cold Blue Yu, rare with a trace of sarcastic expression. The 3 of you give me those 5 guys to die. Cloud Dance looks at the 5 people who chant the mantra like worshipping, and a ray of cold light passes through the bottom of her eyes. Wow, fresh meat. As soon as Hung Ling heard this, she immediately put away her poor state. When she looked at the 5 black-robed people, she was so excited and greedy that she rushed over in a moment. And me. Small Stink a sea Red Ling ran, holding round Gula's small body, but bumping with behind it. Its biggest interest is not eating. It's destroying the food of Hung Ling. It's so angry. Lan Yu looks at them chasing each other. There is no change on their indifferent faces. When a cold air rises, they suddenly attack the black-robed man. Yunwoo looks at Hung Ling and Xiao Chou, but he doesn't know why he pinches each other, and black lines appear on his face. Look at Lan Yu. He's already fighting against the black-robed man. That's efficiency. These little things should have no problem with those black-robed people. Cloud Dance takes back her eyes and looks at the black fire. There is no cunning flash between her eyebrows. I don't know what wonder the black fire will have on the fire dragon. She spread out the palm, a bunch of flame in the palm jump burning, shining cloud that beautiful cold killing face. The fire in the other hand also jumped up, and at that moment, her hands clasped, her mind moved, and the condensed fire dragon swept away towards the black fire. Roar! The animal roared. Even in the barracks far away, you can hear the sound of the dragon. What's going on? How can there be a dragon roar? Is there a dragon deep in the forest? The people in the barracks were really curious to see the direction of the forest, but far away, they only saw the faint fog floating, and could not see anything else. I can see that the fire dragon on this side, in the moment of rising, the fire instantly surrounded the black fire. 5 black-robed people are entangled and played by 3 guys. They can't recite incantations at all. Gradually, the black fire seemed to lose control and could not continue to suck aura. Cloud Dance's eyes passed a sneer. This should be the defect of black fire. Once the black fire started to suck aura thousands of years ago, it could not be stopped unless everything dried up, and the black fire could only be started by incantation. It's like a switch. As soon as the spell stops, the black fire stops. Suddenly, the fire dragon in mid-air, under the roar, seemed to be unable to wrap it, and the black fire was looming around. Cloud Dance looking at want to burst fire dragon defense of black fire, mouth cold outline. As soon as you turn your hand over, a blue water element surges up. At the same time, you use the wind element to create a wind whirlpool, and instantly attack the black fire in the air. The three elements gradually formed a circle, surrounded by the black fire, and began to merge. The black fire encounters the fire dragon. With the combination of wind element and water element, the three elements gradually disappear, and finally completely disappear in mid-air. Over the forest, after the black flame died out, the green aura was not bound and began to spread, looking for its own roots. The half-dried-up forest gradually began to recover its original color. 2 of the 5 black-robed men were killed by Lan Yu, and the remaining 3 integrated and entangled with them. Come back, you 3. Cloud Dance looks at the black-robed man, the corner of his mouth is cold and awe-inspiring. These 3 people are at the level of Wusheng. In fact, with her strength, the other 3 of them are not difficult. When Xiao Smelly heard the call of the clouds, he immediately rushed to the clouds happily, ma. Yunwu looks at the little stink coming from Rududu, and wants to stop it from climbing on his hand. As soon as he lifts it into the air, he feels a gust of wind whistling, and then a little stink comes out of his arms. Cloud Dance glanced at a perverse excited small stink, helplessly put down the hand. As for Hongling, after hearing the call of Cloud Dance, she first ran to the 2 black-robed people who fell on the ground and looked at them. It's no exaggeration to say that it's all over the place. Then, the 3 black-robed men looked at the bodies of their companions, torn and chewed by the big mouth of a blood basin tusk, and the dark eyes were more angry than frightened. Why do you have to fight us? The black-robed man who took the lead said with a trace of forbearance in his dull voice. Do you need a reason to be right? The Cloud Dances a corner of mouth to grin, sneering at them. Chief, let's withdraw first. We are not her opponent. The leading man in black robe was lost in thought when he heard what people around him said. Just now, he saw the situation when he dealt with Blackfire clearly. Although he couldn't feel what stage her strength was, they had no chance to win just by becoming a summoner. Originally, this time to complete the task should be foolproof. But the girls who emerged along the way not only destroyed their plans, but also killed their 2 partners. Will the Lord spare them when they go back? Even if we go back, the Lord will not let us live well. It's better to fight hard than that. That person's voice is not big or small, just happened to be heard by Yunwu. Cloud Dance nodded, and there was a trace of appreciation in her eyes. This is a wise choice, even if he chooses to leave now, she can only say, it's too late. Suddenly, the man in black took out his long sword, which was covered with clear on. With the force of his palm, he killed Chaoyun straightly. Cloud Dance idea wind elements wrapped around the body, a rotation, right hand out of a powerful sword, saw a black fire suddenly hit the blade. With a strange and dead breath, he faced the man in black. Clang, clang. The flame, with the gas of the sword, cut the man in black for several steps. The black-robed man was barely able to hold his feet, but his face was instantly ugly, unusually ugly. Wusheng Peak. Her strength, unexpectedly also robbed him a stage. As everyone knows, just at the moment when he was surprised, Yunwu turned the big sword in his hand and put it into the space. Between the 2 hands, a long sword came out of his hand. When the man in black robe just reacted, it quickly and straightly inserted into his heart. The black-robed man who took the lead was staring at his eyes with surprise and pain. The blood pounded his eyes as if he had torn them apart. With the last trace of consciousness, he looked at the wound on his chest, at the long sword of wind element condensation, left a blood hole and then disappeared, and fell to the ground in surprise. The wind element condenses the sword. Is this the power of the summoner? However, just as the leading man in black fell down, the other two men in black turned pale with fright. Almost a direct turn, two people want to escape. Cloud Dance didn't give them anything, almost a strange flash. Two cold dawns pass by, two black-robed figures are still in amazement and fall down. Cloud Dance walked to the black-robed people with a sneer, looking at the blood eyes of the black-robed people, the corners of his mouth started to sneer. Even if we can't destroy the Beast Gate for a while, let the Beast Gate return some interest. Half ring, Cloud Dance just brushed Red Ling one eye, is all yours, eat not clean not to be allowed to go back. Red Ling hears this words, a piece of mucus poor big mouth also didn't close again, looking at the three corpses on the ground, unexpectedly appeared a trace of disgust. Master, why do you have to kill them for me to eat? Can't I kill myself when I eat? Cloud Dance hears the question of Red Ling, the corner of the mouth draws, all one didn't hear what it says. This guy is getting more and more picky. At this time, the killing array stops and Xiantian comes out of the wooden house. He looked at the purple figure not far away. It seemed that her evil determination, bloodthirsty and arrogant appearance when she killed just now was imprinted in his mind. However, I do not know why, at this time of her, but let him have a kind of dream like, cool and beautiful, as if from the mud but not dyed pure. What kind of woman is this? She is it the perfect combination of devil and angel? Cloud Dance looking at the coming of Make Xian sky, eyes alow, ponder for a moment, the corner of the mouth with a smile of lift eyes to see to him, still satisfied. Make Xian the bottom of the sky I flits a trace low, why do you know me? Or, why do you know me? Cloud Dance Chumua smile, just now she also planned whether or not to meet the old man's thing to tell him, now that he asked, she also has no good hesitation. I once met an old man in a cave. He claimed to be a wizard elder. He told me that he had a grandson named Ling Xiantian. Cloud Dance while saying, at the same time pay attention to Make Xian Day change. If not, Make Xian Day and hear the old man and sorcery clan elder, the body a shock, immediately that insipid eye sun inside, twinkled a glimmer of ecstatic brilliance. He walked quickly to Yunwu. Although he couldn't wait, he still asked carefully, have you met my grandfather? How is my grandfather? Is he still alive? He asked very carefully, as if he was afraid that the news of his happiness would be broken by the nightmare before it lasted for a while. Cloud Dance micro frown, some helpless looking at him, don't use that careful look, he can tell me these, naturally still alive. He said, when I see you, as long as I say who I am, you will give me the things. Cloud Dance said, I skim a trace of speechless, say what as long as she said her identity, he can give her things. Is it too easy for the old man to say? His grandson was chased and searched all the way, and he wanted to be on guard that no one would trust him except himself. If it wasn't for her to play chess in the wooden house and the person who solved the Beast Gate this time, even if she said these words now, I'm afraid he would not believe her should she praise him for being rigorous and thoughtful. Where is he now? Make Xian Day after hearing speech, finally can't help but some excited to grasp the shoulder of Cloud Dance, some can't wait to know. Cloud Dance glanced at him and pondered for a moment, you only need to know that he is still alive. When you become stronger and have enough ability and power, maybe you can see him. Looking at his eagerness, she still decided not to tell him where the old man was. In his current state, if she knew where the old man was, she would be desperate to save him. Now he is still lack of enough calm and judgment, can't be a brain-hot setup to save his life. Is that what my grandfather said? Ling Xuanchen looked at her, the expectation in her eyes hurt her eyes. Looking at his expectation, she wanted to say something, but finally nodded. Forget it. She's very compassionate. See this of Make Xian Day, seemed to secretly relaxed a breath. And this is the first time that he has been lonely for several years and relaxed with a smile. My grandfather said that, there must be his reason, I must become strong, and strive to be strong. Cloud Dance looked at him, mouth slightly raised, but not easy to detect the flash of a trace of innocence. She just nodded, but didn't say anything. It was his own misunderstanding make Xiande stare at Cloud Dance, the eye-bottom deep meditation for a moment, hand into the bosom, take out a thing wrapped in white cloth to Cloud Dance. This is what you want, and it's up to you now. Cloud Dance looked at the white cloth he handed over, and couldn't help but brush the bottom of his eyes. This should not be. Cloud Dance immediately opened the white cloth. When one of the summoning temple maps came into view, there was a smile at the bottom of his eyes. After so long tossing, I finally got another map. That kind of unspeakable feeling, let her inexplicable surging. Put away the map of the summoning temple, Yunwu looked at Lingxian and said, now that the people of the Beast Gate have found you, they will not find you here again. It's not safe. Why don't you come back to the army with me? The army? Make Xiande smell speech, can't from see you to eyebrow of hesitant for a while. He naturally knew about the army in the canyon at the other end of the forest. Before that, he sneaked in and stabbed the general, leading the soldiers to drive away the people of the Beast Gate. However, the overall strength of the army was not so good. He went to the army, it seems impossible to resist the people of the Beast Gate, right? Seems to guess a few points from that make Xiande facial expression, Cloud Dance corner of mouth tiny yang. I have naturally taken into account all your worries, but you don't have to worry about them. I will naturally make arrangements. As for why you should go to the army, there are some reasons. At this point, the Cloud Dance stopped for a while, and then continued, first, the Cloud family army is my force, you can temporarily use another identity to live there, second, you are proficient in array arrangement and witchcraft, you can come to the army to help me? She would not have used the word help before. But now it's different. He knows that he's a witch and that she's the one his grandfather trusts. Now using this word is more important than calculating him to make him promise himself. Good. Make Xiande once heard her words, it thought for a while then agreed. The reason he agreed was not only because she was a witch, but also because of her strength. Her strength is too strong. If you follow her, you will be able to improve your martial arts faster than yourself. He wants to see his grandfather as soon as possible, and he also wants to know what happened to his parents. Got the base map of the summoning temple, also got such a helper, said she was not happy, that was false. However, the movement behind made her have a headache. Cloud Dance back, Hongling has eaten up the body, and now is wrestling with small stink. Hold you up, hold you up. Because Hongling ate 5 people at a time, and some of them wanted to vomit. Zioyuka made a joke about it until now. Believe it or not. If you swallow me, I'll burn you in your stomach. Who loves to eat you, so smelly? Hongling snorted coldly and raised her chin haughtily. Well, I'll ignore you. Small stink small mouth a pout, drop red ling a drag of Chaoyun Dance ran over. Ling Xuanchen looks at the intersection of the two contract beasts, and his mouth unconsciously raises a smile. She's a contract beast. It's kind of interesting. Mama, it bullies me. Small stink lying on Cloud chest, seeking comfort to rub. Cloud Dance looks at a face of grievance small stink lying on his chest, and his eyes pass a trace of helplessness. These guys really treat her as a wet nurse. Glancing at Lan Yu standing behind him, looking back at Hongling in the distance, Yunwu sighs. Why can't they be beautiful men like Lan Yu? Yunwu wanted to give them chestnuts and teach them a lesson. However, when people are happy, they are in a good mood. However, Yunwu still carried the little stink out of his chest, squinted his eyes, pointed to his nose and said, "Do you still need me to teach you how to do this little thing? Go back to your home, and then bully you back." Her words export, the distance of Red Ling inexplicably beat to tremble, secretly glanced at Cloud Dance one eye. Little smelly smell speech, that pair of big cute eyes suddenly alight. Mama, I'm going home. When Xiao Smelly said that, Chubby Dudu, who was carrying in Yunwu's hand, suddenly turned his head and looked at Hongling behind him, showing his sharp fangs. A face complacent toward Red Ling spit out tongue, Mama asks you to let me bully to come back. Cloud Dance. She means to let him bully himself back. Didn't you say that Hongling would bully him? Yunwu looks at the two guys with big eyes and small eyes. He quickly moves his mind and sends them and Lan Yu back to the contract space. If you wait, it's time for the two guys to fight again. These two guys are crazy enough after playing for so long. It's time to go back to sleep. Come on, come back to the army with me. Cloud Dance looked back at a Make Xian Day, smile of turnaround to leave. Make Xian Day nod, looking at the figure that Cloud Dance leaves, the corner of the mouth slightly raises. Today begins, he may have more a friend that can trust. After returning to the army, the sky has been gray with a faint, half of the moon has appeared white. Miss 9. The soldiers of the guard saw the Cloud dancing back and immediately bowed their heads and cried respectfully. Yunwu nodded and saw Gao Yu come out of the camp from a distance. Miss 9, it's getting late. Why are you here? Although Gao Yu is asking Yunwu, his fierce eyes are looking at Ling Xuanchen behind her. Yunwu saw that he was still wearing a suit of armor, and his face looked a little tired. It should be that he was so busy that he didn't have a rest. This is the military division 1 invited, who will be responsible for teaching the soldiers the formation and the arrangement. Cloud Dance tiny a pick eyebrow, look back, point to the Make Xian Day behind the back of direct opening way. She is in charge of the barracks, so she has the right to arrange people. She didn't talk about witchcraft, because it was a secret to Ling Xuanchen or the witches. As for teaching, it will also be conducted in secret. Make Xian Day Dynasty. Gao Yu slightly nods, Make Xian Day, after more care. Gao Yu looked at that Make Xian Day for a while, just stiff nod, thick eyebrow but full of doubt low. Will you know how to arrange the array? Will a young man who looks like he is only in his 20s know how to set up an array? However, Miss 9's strength and means are obvious to all. He is not willing to judge a person by her appearance. Therefore, although Gao Yu was puzzled, he didn't question foolishly. Yunwu is a wise man. How can he not see Gao Yu's expression? He added with a faint smile, he and I are in the same family. Even my master praised him for his array arrangement. This time, I invited him out to help me train elite troops. In order to avoid trouble, I also hope General Gao Yu can do a good job in keeping secret. Gao Yu hears these words, Mao Guang is startled, can't help but look up to Make Xian Day. The art of array and array is the art of strategists. But it's not easy to meet someone who is very familiar with array. Xian Tian is young enough to understand array, and he's still Miss 9's classmate, which really surprises him. Besides, I have something to do these days, so the army will be under the management of General Gao. Don't worry, Miss 9. Cloud Dance slightly jaw head, looking back to Make Xian Day, I selected 100 elite, training alone, you spend more snacks, next time I come back to see the effect. It's the same family. Naturally, it won't disgrace you and your school. Don't worry. Make Xian Day mouth corner a yawn, extremely confident. Of course, his words also took advantage of her new identity. Cloud Dance hears his words, Hang Mao a smile, the eye ground is the most incisive smile. Arrange things, she did not say anything more, let Gao Yu with Make Xian Day to camp. She looks at the dim back of Ling Xuanchen, and her eyes pass by a trace of comfort. In this big family, she believes Ling Xuanchen can feel the warmth she has not seen for a long time. When she left the army, it was already dark. Only the stars in the inky sky were shining, illuminating her way forward. Tomorrow is the day of the selection contest. I don't know how her fiancé is preparing now. The annual selection competition is an exception for the second time, which makes many frustrated people reignite their fighting spirit. Tomorrow's selection competition must be particularly wonderful. Soon after he entered the inner college, there will be a promotion competition. I don't know how many experts will compete at that time. What is the opportunity, he said. Cloud Dance raised her eyes and looked at the sky, and an undercurrent appeared at the bottom of her eyes. The rising sun, full of spiritual power outside the college at this time, has been a sea of people. Today is the second selection competition of Shenwang Samurai Academy this year. All the students who failed in the first selection competition came to participate in this selection, hoping to break through the siege. However, this time is obviously different from the previous one. The competition is no longer just senior students, but almost even the freshmen who have just entered the college. Moreover, there are no more than one challenge arena in the square, just a big challenge arena. In front of the challenge arena are 3 seats, which are the positions of the college judges. At this time, the challenge arena has been filled with college students, from grade 1 to grade 3. They went together to watch the game with their good friends. It was very noisy. In a small corner of the crowd, a handsome man in a foreign college costume hooked his mouth and looked at the crowd. He had a firm look, and the air between his eyebrows was turbulent, with a trace of domineering wildness. Your Highness, would you like to join us? 5 Cold, looking at a smiling Zhou Feiyu, Lo asked a sentence. What does Your Highness mean by that smile? Is it true that he will not return to the imperial city, but will not participate in the selection competition of the inner college? What do you say? The corner of Zhou Feiyu's mouth was awe-inspiring. There was a little worry in Wu Han's eyes. Your Highness, I said, do what you should do. Zhou Feiyu's eyes were cold, and he took a look at the 5 colds. Seeing the warning breath in his cold eyes, Wu Han's body suddenly froze and he didn't speak anymore. He vaguely understood that the woman had taken root in his heart. Zhou Feiyu's awe-inspiring breath surrounds all around, his eyes are cold and full of aggression. He won't leave easily after he doesn't see the woman's real face and confirms her. Think of Cloud Dance, a pair of purple pupil monster, Cold Yen resolute posture, his heart seems to be something fierce hit. Some twitching shivers, and now Yunwu changed into the clothes of the foreign college and appeared in another corner of the crowd. Her mouth was gently picked and her eyes were flexible. She was looking for someone. She was specially approved by the elder to watch the selection contest, so she didn't have to be furtive anymore. At this time, tutor and vigilator on the arena is still Liuzi and the other 2 tutors. Looking at the students under the challenge arena, Liuzi cleared his throat and said, this year, we will make an exception to the second selection competition. The winner will be admitted to the inner college. I hope you can play your best. Hearing what he said, a burst of voices jumped from the stage. Well, I now announce that the first competition of the selection contest begins. At the moment when Liuzi's voice fell, the selection contest officially began. Cloud Dance eyes around, but still did not find the familiar figure, no longer looking for, but quietly looking at the stage. But she didn't find a trace of loss in her eyes but at this time. On the other side, Zhou Feiyu seems to have found her with sharp eyes. A pair of aggressive eyes look at her for a moment, and the fundus of those eyes is glowing. She's here. Wu Han noticed Zhou Feiyu's abnormality. Looking in his direction, he happened to see the Cloud dancing in the crowd on the other side, pale and indifferent. There seemed to be a cold haze around her, which made people feel so untouchable. Is she really the legendary sick 9th Miss? He can't help questioning the credibility of the rumor once again. Looking at Zhou Feiyu, gradually fanatical look, 5 cold forehead a wrinkle, a pair of sharp eyes slightly alow. It seems that Your Highness is playing for real this time. Since it can't be stopped, it can only help him finish what he wants to do. Zhou Feiyu put all his thoughts and eyes on Yunwu. Naturally, he didn't notice the complexity of Wu Han at the moment. He looked at Yunwu and felt inexplicable. Cloud Dance seems to feel a strong hot line of sight, is staring at himself in a corner, Lumea low, a trace of cold inside the eyes. Suddenly looking back, her cold eyes happen to focus on the hot and complex eyes of Feiyu last week. For eyes back, cold and hot impact, doomed to this is a wishful intersection. Cloud Dance looks at Zhou Feiyu and doesn't like his sight. However, Yunwu didn't care much, so she took back her sight indifferently and didn't look at him. Zhou Feiyu's eyes were cold and a trace of anger passed. He clenched his fists tightly. For a moment, he wanted to strangle her. Does one more look at him make her so repulsive? Where on earth is he worse than that man? When he came to her with all his anger, a tall figure came quietly and stood behind Yunwu. Zhou Feiyu's body suddenly froze. Looking at the figure, his eyes became more angry. That man is... Cloud Dance looks at the competition on the stage. At this time of the competition, the students can be said to have done their best. Sometimes the thunder and lightning are as fierce as Hades. Sometimes the hurricane is chaotic and the clouds are changing. Every student has his own strength. The moves are unpredictable and the martial arts competition is getting higher and higher. However, although Cloud Dance has been watching every move in the challenge arena, its eyes are as bright and calm as a mirror lake, and there is no change at all, as if its mind is not in the challenge arena at all. Suddenly, she felt a strong breath running behind her. Cloud Dance's eyes instantly cold, palms slightly up, just about to hand, a trace of familiar taste into the tip of the nose. She raised her mouth and pretended to feel nothing. She still looked at the challenge arena, but a cluster of flames appeared in her cool and calm eyes. Long Qingxia looked at the palm she picked up and put down, and a smile of evil spirit passed in a low voice, "Little thing, do you want to murder your husband?" His evil and enchanting voice came from her ears. The hot breath burned her cold breath, and his hands were around her waist. Cloud Dance cheek a heat, to refute cover up her gaffe, "Murder husband is a capital crime." Long Qingxia sat in the empty position of the competition area beside her and approached her reddish cheek. She said with a smile, "Of course, it's a capital crime. I can still point to the continuation of future generations." He spoke in a low voice, almost in a low voice. But not a word fell into the just quietly approached Zhou Feiyu, with the other side behind the Nangong Yi ear. Zhou Feiyu looked at the ambiguous appearance between them and the action of Yunwu's koi leaning against him. He had a pair of distinct knuckles and clenched fists. His fingernails pierced his flesh and blood, and the blood slipped down his fists drop by drop. When Nangong Yi heard this, his body seemed to sign slightly, then he turned his head slightly, but his eyes first stayed on Yunwu, and there was a faint undercurrent in his calm eyes. Then he looked at the dragon beside her and looked at the picture of two people nestling together. His calm eyes slightly lowered, and then he took back his eyes and looked at the challenge arena. Cloud Dance White Dragon Qing Evil One Eye, this guy can say let her speechless words anytime and anywhere, just like now, although she is lazy to pay attention to other people's different eyes. However, this man's mouth cheap fault again. How are you getting ready? Cloud Dance didn't break away from Dragon's evil arms, looking at the competition on the challenge arena, he asked. Do you think your man needs to prepare for this kind of competition? When the dragon hears the evil words, he smiles and glances at the challenge arena, with a smile of arrogance and self-confidence rising from the corner of his mouth. People around the scene suddenly heard the bold and arrogant words of Long Qingxie. They suddenly cast their eyes. However, no one said anything. At this time, Long Qingxie was wearing a school uniform and black gauze. It was hard to see his face clearly. However, there was a case of the last Cloud Dance in which the edge of the useless Miss Nine was blooming. This time, many people are cautious. In particular, many people recognize Yunwu. That is the last time, from the experts, with a strange powerful force to fight for the only place to enter the college Miss Yun 9. It's said that the one who carries black dual gauze every day is Long Shizhi, who was exchanged in the Zhou dynasty, and Long San, who was married to Miss Nine by the monarch some time ago. However, isn't that the dragon's son is also a waste in the waste? You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.